This is a conference meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held via audio video conferencing Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 at 7:03 p.m. Roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Present.
Councilmember Hilbert, absent. Councilmember Montague III,
Present.
Councilmember Ross,
Present.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
She's gonna be late.
Okay, we'll be late. Councilmember Wooten is absent. And Council President Eason.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the City Clerk, Tamara Robinson, the Deputy City Clerk, Chris M. Hardwick, the Business Administrator. Director Best, are you on the call?
She'll be late.
She'll be late. Okay. Chief Brown.
Present.
Niall Clements, CFO.
Present.
Vincent D. Filippo, Health Officer.
Present.
Paula Fiera, Tax Collector. Present. Marty Mays.
Here.
He's going to be absent, right?
Here.
Here. Oh, okay. Hey, Marty.
Hey.
Gracia R. Montilla, City Attorney. Is there a representative from the law department?
I think we have Mr. Rahi.
Yeah, Aaron is right for the law department.
Thank you. Let's see. Chris Murray, Tax Assessor.
I'm here, Joyce.
Wendy Sykes, Director of Community Service. Absent. Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer.
Present.
Vincent Vidiello. Anybody representing the police department tonight?
They will not be here. They're at a fallen officers memorial service.
Thank you. Marguerite Homer. I can't see the screen, so I don't know if she's here or not.
Yes, she's here.
Triscipio is here, and I'm not quite sure if Gabrielle is here.
No, I don't believe so. And Mr. Lee, I just want Mr. Hardwick to repeat that and say there's not a current fallen officer.
No, it's not.
It's a previous one.
The previous officer who passed away.
Okay.
Please be apprised, anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall email their statement or question.
Order. We forgot to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we have a recognition of a moment of silence? And I'm sure we're going to do it for the following police officers.
The memorial service. Not for a recent one, for an older one. And also to, let's put up, I want to dedicate it to the city of Orange. Let's pray for our city. And as we continue to progress forward. In God's name. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Please be apprised, anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall email their statements or questions to citizen comments at orangenj.gov no later than 7 p.m. the day prior to the scheduled public meeting. The City Council reserves the right to respond or not respond during the meeting to any citizen submissions. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 etc. the Sunshine Law has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, published in the record transcript on July 13, 2023, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. For matters of discussion, Health Officer Vincent D. Filippo, do you have an update?
Yes, I do. I have a little one. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Right now, the state of New Jersey is in green, which means it's very low. I'll give you some hospital admissions for the state of New Jersey. This week, we're 268, 21
are on ventilators. The average age is between 60 and 79. We have our long-term care facilities. We had 2,278 people that had COVID. Staff members in the long-term care facilities, there's 1,049 people that had COVID. And we're seeing an influx of respiratory virus in the school system from K to 12. So just make sure your kids are vaccinated. So this way they won't actually get anything. There's a new thing that's came out there that it just does in Texas. There are 11 cases of bird flu that they just started reporting as of Monday. So that's basically it. Now I just have some announcements if I could just make some. April 4th, we have the mammogram truck at 340 Thomas Boulevard from 9 to 3. They'll be in the front. Also on April 10th from 11 to 12 at the field at 340 Thomas Boulevard. We have the Medicare update and educational session at 340 Thomas Boulevard. And on April 17th at the field house, we have somebody talking about gout and also some educational courses that are given for the seniors that time. And there's also one more thing that the city of Orange is hosting. We haven't had one in a few years. It's the community baby shower. It's running by Dawn Gibson. She's asking if there's anyone interested in contributing to this baby shower event. It's held that May 11th from 10 to 3. It'll be on Main Street in one of the parks in the front by, I think it's around 180 Main Street. Her phone number is 973-952-6083. And that's it. Is there any questions anybody wants to ask me?
When you mean respiratory virus, you mean respiratory syncytial virus?
One moment. If you need to talk, please raise your hand. I'm not having anybody speak out of turn. If you need to speak, please raise. We're going to use the hand raise. Can you just give the phone number for the community baby clinic, baby shower again, please?
Sure. It's 973-952-6083. That's her direct line. Don't forget she goes in and out of the office, so just leave a message if she doesn't pick up. So this way she'll get back to you.
And Council President, Councilwoman Summers Johnson arrived at 7:05.
Okay, thank you.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say respiratory virus could be anything from somebody spreading a cold, from somebody coughing. It could be, it's just, unfortunately, hand and mouth foot disease. People are touching things. If you go to school from K to 12, you know, once you go into the high school level, it's a little different. So, but anywhere from K to 6, it's open house. I mean, we violated a couple of daycare centers in our community for not having kids vaccinated. There's audits that we do in the beginning of the year. We check every school and every daycare center that we go out, and we look for their immunization records. And if they don't have them, they have a certain time to get them. And if they don't, they're out of that location until they do get the vaccine or get an exemption.
Okay, Benny, so
Yes.
what is the minimum number of kids you have to be considered that you will go out and check in a daycare?
Well, in a daycare center, we have one in the beginning. Unfortunately, I only had 3-4 kids, but it was a daycare center, and we went out there. If it's a licensed daycare center, we'll go out there even with one kid. You know, now there are certain things that are provided by DIFUS that kids are pulled out of a home for, well, if they had a fire or a domestic dispute. DIFUS will come and take the kids and place them in a foster home temporarily, and I think they're allowed up to 6, and we don't even know about it. You know, unfortunately, they don't have to tell us. We stumbled a couple of times on a couple of these locations, and we went there with the fire department. We said, what if you had to carry a couple of kids down? When they're 6 or 7, they can walk down, but if they're like under 2 years old, how many kids can you put in your arms? You know, but they don't have to tell us or the fire department. It'd be nice to know, though.
Okay, and just for the public to know, just for the purpose of questions, we would do that during our regular meeting. So please write your questions down. This is a conference meeting, and all questions may be answered during citizens' comments. Please move the agenda.
Thank you.
Council members, there any ordinance or resolutions that you wish to discuss at this time?
No. Yeah, Council President, was there any,
Councilman Coley?
yeah, was there any, discussion regarding anything from the finance committee that we should know about?
No, I think we covered everything. So did you have any questions on any ordinance or resolution? Ask them at this time.
No, I just wanted to just asking if you guys have any concerns on anything from the finance committee meeting that we could,
No, just a report from the finance. Fortunately, our CFO and our business administrator was able to answer all of our questions satisfactorily, so we have none right now.
All right.
Any concerns or any of the ordinance and resolutions on the agenda?
Thank you.
Councilman James Summers, did you have any questions? Okay. Everybody else is good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please move the agenda.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Ross.
Second. Motion to adjourn by Council Member Ross, second by Council Member Coley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned at 7:14 p.m. So this is the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held via audio video conferencing on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2022, following the conference meeting. Please, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
We're gonna have our own Councilman Weldon Montague do the Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Roll call. Council Member Coley.
Present.
Council Member Hilbert. Absent. Council Member Montague III.
Present.
Council Member Ross.
Present.
Council Member Jamie Summers. Present. Council Member Wooten. Absent. And Council President Eason.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the City Clerk. Tamara Robinson. Tamara, are you back?
Yes, I'm present.
Okay, thank you. Chris Hartwick, the BA. Director Best.
You're gonna be late.
Chief Brown,
Present.
Fire Department. Now Clement, CFO.
Present.
Vincent D. Filippo, Health Officer, no is present.
Here.
Paula Fiera, Tax Collector. Present. Marty Mays, Public Works Director.
Here.
Aaron Mizrazi, Law Department.
Here.
Did I say it right?
Ms. Rocky, you got it.
Okay, I was getting close, right? I'm getting there.
Yep.
Chris Murray, Tax Assessor.
I'm here, Joyce.
Director of Sites, Community Service. That's it. Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer, Vincent Vidiello, Police Chief.
No one's here to represent the police tonight.
Marjorie Homer is here, Tricipio is here, and I do not believe Gabrielle is on the call. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 except the Sunshine Law has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger and published in the record transcript on July 13, 2023, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. There are no minutes to be approved. There are no reports. There are no open reports, council reports.
Thank you. As I stated earlier, the Finance Committee meeting went fairly smooth. Every questions was answered, and there was no major concerns on any of the resolutions or ordinances. Thanks to our business administrator and our CFO. We're gonna start tonight with our fire chief.
Good evening, Council President, all council members. I have nothing major to report from the fire side. I would like to say Recreation put on a beautiful event for Easter this past Saturday. A lot of kids showed up and we were there to support them in their efforts and their Easter egg grab. It was a very beautiful day and a nice event. On the fire side, all the residents are safe right now. No major incidents. Any questions?
Yeah, fire chief. I see quite a few of those motorized bikes going through town right now.
Yes.
Do you plan to do any information on the safety of those batteries and making sure they're not in the apartments?
Yes, that information is on the website. It's been posted on the website, so we will do a further blast on that if when we can and try to post some things. But it is on the website about lithium batteries.
My only concern is everybody doesn't go on the website. I think we need to do something a little bit more extensive. I don't know whether it's a flyer or just some information that we could pass out in the neighborhood.
Okay.
The people that are not on the website and do not have computers or don't go on the internet can sort of.
We can get some pamphlets and information and get them out there to the residents.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for our fire chief?
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. Paula Fiera, our tax collector.
Good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that the second quarter taxes are due May 1st. It will be the last stop on the bill that was mailed last year. The easiest way to pay is to pay online at the city's website. That's all I have from the box office.
Marty Mays, our public works director.
Good evening. How you doing? I want to make two announcements today. One, I want to announce our first shredding event. I've been announcing it all along, but it is this Saturday. Bring your documents for shredding to Orange City Hall parking lot from 9 to 12 p.m. Spread the word to your neighbors and your friends to try to get people to come. We can normally average about 100 or so cars. And that is this Saturday, April 6th, from 9 to 12 p.m. And then also,
Miss Lania, Tamara, and Trish, if you recognize the name, we need to start moving them out, okay? Yeah. Move them out. If you don't recognize the name, just move them out. Chris, I thought we were going to have Kim on our meetings going forward.
We have a few phone numbers.
Business Administrator Hartwick, aren't we supposed to have Kim on the meeting tonight?
Yes, but he's on vacation.
Okay. Okay.
First, can Chat? I think Chat is on the call. Can he handle that?
I'll find it.
Okay.
Because if we're not going to be able to have Kim, we got to have a backup. I don't know who it's going to be. I just noted that our Councilwoman Wooten has joined us. 718. Okay.
There's also a phone number that is 973-851 that needs to identify him or herself.
973-851. Can you identify yourself?
Are you talking to me?
No. We're looking for 973-851. Whose phone is
794? 973-385-16-794.
Council President, if they're not responding, just remove them.
Remove them from the site. Remove them. Done. All right, let's continue.
After that, I'll just take questions. I don't have anything else to say.
Any questions for our Director Marty Mays?
How you doing, first of all?
Council President,
Trish, is there's a way that you can mute everyone so that only you can unmute them when they get ready to talk?
Everyone is muted right now, except that was a backlash between Coley and
Montague.
Montague.
So let's mute everyone and you take control of the mute button. Anyone that needs to speak, can we do that?
Let me try. You could keep going, and I'll work on it.
Yeah. And anyone that needs to talk, you will unmute. Okay.
Directly.
Need to speak.
Sorry, Council President. Trish, please don't mute me.
Don't mute Joyce. Okay.
Can I talk, Council President?
Yes, Councilman Coley.
Director Mays, how you doing?
Good, Councilman.
Yeah, me too, man. Hey, just want to thank you for putting these shredding events together. It's a good event. Let the residents give it amongst that clutter. The house Central in Oakwood. His house been abandoned, for like a lot of years. It's a lot of debris, but how like bricks and houses, dirt. It's just been there for weeks and months. What can we do to get that property cleaned up once and for all?
I'm gonna check it tomorrow morning, and I'll work on it. I jump right on it.
Okay. All right.
Talking about the blue house, right?
They changed colors once. Yeah, I can't remember the code, but
okay.
Right next Central Northport, right across from the gas station.
Okay.
Director Mays, any updates on Dunkin' Donuts? Can you call me tomorrow?
Yes, and I just wanted to give you a quick update about some of the one-way changes. I spoke with Vinny, and we're going to be placing the sign and doing the things that we talked about. Start Monday.
All right. Give me a call. Right. Okay, so we can outline what we're doing. Okay. Chris Murray, tax assessor.
No, Council President.
Yes, Councilman Montague.
Through you to Monty Mays. I was wondering, why did they stop doing the construction on the basketball court at Colgate Park? They just stopped, even during good weather.
Because right now it's just, a little bit of removal and other things, but it'll be going back on full swing. The only reason they weren't there today was because of the weather.
They haven't been there for a few days. I ride there 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Yes, it's an ongoing project. It's just going to be a lot of removal right now and getting things ready, but it'll be full swing. I don't have my papers in front of me. I don't remember the completion date, but it's going to be relatively soon. It's not going to take much longer.
Okay, and they're just doing the courts.
Just doing the basketball courts for now. And then we have an application. We applied to do the rest of the park. And this situation is similar to Metcalf, where we did the basketball court. And now the whole park is going to be worked on as well. So those are my 2 current park projects, Metcalf and Colgate basketball court.
And how about the fencing near the skateboard court? Did we rectify that situation?
Yeah, the situation is not rectified. I met with the lawyers today. We have a game plan going forward on what we're going to do to address that situation, but we are working on it, and we've come up with a solution. We're just executing that right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Council President.
Yes, Councilman Royce.
Yeah, how you doing, Marty?
Good.
So I hear you talking about the parks. So will these parks be up and operational for the summer?
We have a better chance of Colgate being up, and then Metcalf completion date is sometime in August.
At the end of the summer.
Yes, for Metcalf, but Colgate is on the way now.
And all the pools are up and running, right?
All the pools are up and running. If you're just a quick history, all pools have been renovated, with Colgate pool being renovated last summer, so all pools are going to be up and running. And the other park project that is going to be up and running shortly is the spray park. So you got Colgate basketball court. You also have Metcalf Park. You have the spray park, and we're going to kick off another project at Central Park as well. It's like a $250,000 project.
Okay, all right.
So the parks are starting to look good, starting to look a lot better.
And one thing about what is the park? College Park. Is there porta potties there or anything?
We do have porta potties there. Yes.
Okay. And no water fountain there or anything.
No water fountain there. No.
What I wanted to say? So Main Street in front of Dunkin' Donuts. I heard Council President talk about that. When are those dividers gotta be there?
Right now, I don't want to order any more dividers like the ones that are there, because trucks are just running them and hitting them. And I bought about 30 of them, and I keep replacing them. So what I did was I contacted the engineer. We're trying to go to a new system, a more stronger system. So if you hit it, it's going to be a lot harder to knock down. So I'm exploring a bunch of different ways to do that, looking at a couple different bollards, and we'll see what happens. I should have something by the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
I think the backup plan was, you know how long it takes for things to get resolved?
Yes.
I asked you if we could get those orange dividers.
Yes, I understand.
I'm quite sure we have a lot of them in stock somewhere. So could we get them there tomorrow or the next day?
Yes, I understand.
That's the backup plan until you guys figure out what you're going to do.
Okay.
All right.
And I have one other question, Council President, for Marty. Marty, where are we with the garbage bins for the housing authority, both on Wilson Place and Thomas Boulevard?
Well, right now we've just been focusing on Wilson Place. We made a couple of changes. We changed some wheels on them. We're doing some repairs. Right now it's looking pretty good. And also Thomas Boulevard, we did the same thing. We're focusing on the housing authority right now because they seem to be having the most problems. We had a couple on-site meetings. So if any of you have any concerns, just let me know. But I am working with the housing authority at both locations. We also contemplating looking at ordering some bigger bins as well. So we're trying to really step it up because there's been a lot of complaints lately about rats and other things. And, it's a two-part deal, meaning that the housing authority has to do better and the garbage company has to do better. Absolutely. So we're monitoring it and we're working closely with them.
Okay. Now you talk about getting bigger bins, which I think is necessary. But has there been any discussion about an extra day? I know
there is an extra day. The housing authority did execute an extra day at their own cost, and it has begun again.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions for Director Mays?
Yes, one more, Council President.
Yes, Councilman.
Can we direct any questions to Reginald Bloodcell? Or should I just go to Marty Mays and he'll talk to Bloodcell?
Well, if he's on tonight, we'll let him speak when we finish.
Let me talk to Marty Mays about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I had an in-depth conversation with the senior crossing guard. Her name is Shirley Hendrickson over Scotland Road. She is afraid that somebody's going to get killed between Glebe Street and Henry Street when school is out. Cars come over that hill speeding. There's no way to slow those cars up. And she's the crossing guard over there, and she's afraid. What can we do to minimize this? Do we need a police car out there after school, it must be something. The crossing guard said somebody's gonna get killed. How was that?
Councilman Montague, that is a police matter. So we will.
No, it's not really. It's not really.
Yeah, because Marty Mays, the Director Mays does not handle crossing guards or that situation. That's a police matter.
Did we already speak to Chief Benning?
I don't know. You just brought up the issue, so he's not on tonight. So make sure you call him tomorrow and discuss that with him, please.
But the only thing, that's a county road. That's why I want to direct that.
But that's up to our chief to talk to the county about getting a crossing guard. I don't think the county minds if we put a crossing guard on a county road. We're not legislating anything for it. We're just adding extra security. So that's really a police matter between them.
But you know how you just said. You know how you just said at Dunkin' Donuts what you want to see tomorrow. I want to see that before something happens to a child.
We understand.
I want that done as well.
Council President, the county is on the call and they have their hand raised.
Right.
Wait a minute. Reginald, hold on. Let me just, Reginald, we'll come back to you. Make a note of that question. You can answer it in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. Councilman Coley?
Yeah, hey, Director Mills, I forgot to mention this to you. On Hampton Terrace, right in front of my house, I meant to mention to you like a while ago. We have two sinkholes, and they're getting worse and worse. The worst sinkhole is pretty much almost like in front of my house, and then the other one is like closer to Oakwood Avenue. I believe you mentioned it. I mentioned it to you like back in the summer. And you said you were going to look into it, but I don't know if you did or not. But it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. I'm no expert, but usually when there's some type of sinkhole and the asphalt / ground is shifting, that usually means that there's some kind of water issue underneath. So I think that needs to be looked into as soon as possible.
We'll send the crew out tomorrow to take a look.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to come back to County Liaison. Wendy Sykes is absent. And we have nobody for police. Did Miss Best join us yet?
I believe she just joined us.
Director Best? Please mute the lines. Trish, please mute the lines. Director Best? But she's not. Oh, so we're going to move on to our CFO. Do you want to share anything with us? Anything additional, CFO? Chris Hardwick, Business Administrator?
I think I'm unmuted now. I wasn't able to unmute myself. Good evening, Orange. I just wanted to share, Council President, that we have a lot of items on the agenda tonight, 3 ordinances and a plethora of resolutions. So if there are any particular questions, I'll answer them at this time.
Any questions for our CFO? And our Business Administrator has his hand up. Business Administrator Hardwick?
No, I just wanted to let you know that Niall was muted. Please leave me unmuted so that I can answer the questions.
Okay.
If you mute yourself back, I have to unmute you. That's the only way we can do it.
Okay, I won't mute
To
myself.
guard security. Sorry about that. And Laquana Best is here. She arrived at 7:35.
Okay. Councilman Coley, you have another question? No? You're muted. Will you unmute Councilman Coley?
Yep.
Yes, Councilman.
This is for our CFO. The bill list is rather high. Do you mind kind of explaining why the bill list is so high this period? Maybe muted.
Yeah, Trish, can you unmute our CFO? Hey guys, please be patient. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but that's the only way we can have a council meeting. We gotta mute the lines.
I understand, no problem. Yeah, Councilman Coley, bill list is over $18 million because we rolled over $14.6 million in bond anticipation notes in March. You'll be getting the offering statement soon. We had to print it. We also had various bills that we had to pay, including a health insurance bill for $1 billion. But the large lump sum was a $14.6 million bond anticipation notes that we rolled over.
So that's a restructuring of some debt.
No, that was, well, yes and no. That was us reissuing the debt
I'm muting too.
for another year.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Now we're gonna ask our county liaison. If he would, can you unmute Mr. Bledsoe so he can give us an update on the county? And I think he wants
Definitely, Madam President, thank you for the opportunity to address the council. What we can do, out of respect and through your chair, we can set up a discussion through the clerk's office along with the business administrator, if to allow council member Montague to address his concern with the Department of Public Works of the county. So we can set up a meeting to address that specific concern. And I have no other updates from the county.
Yeah, Council President.
Yes, Councilman Coley.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, first of all, President? How's everything, man?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. A while back, we passed a permit to park ordinance on Central Avenue, specifically for the residents who live on the building right there, 210 Central Avenue, who doesn't have any parking. The building was built some years ago. So we passed the permit to park ordinance on Central Avenue, but Central Avenue is a county road and it was kicked back. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we got some kind of communication from the county overturning or denying.
Councilman Coley, point of order. That is going to be a long discussion.
I know, but let's just hold on.
Hold on. Hold on one second.
What I'm asking if he could just, direct us or me to the right person or people how we can re-engage this discussion for the people that are suffering with the parking issue at that point.
If I may, Madam President, through your chair, to Councilman Coley, what we can do is that ordinance was forwarded to the county from through our clerk's office. That would then be forwarded to the department to address that specific ordinance as it relates to the parking on Central Avenue if it impacts or affects the county road. What I can guarantee to you tonight is that we can set up a discussion and definitely revisit that topic.
Absolutely.
I'm not privy to what communications may have gone back and forth from the township to the county, but we could definitely revisit it.
That's all I'm asking.
Crowley, do you have his number that you can call him tomorrow?
Yes, I have. I have.
Okay, because I think you want to share with him the I think we had the legislation in a meeting that we had with about permit parking. You might want to share that legislation with him because the police department is also looking for answers because otherwise they're going to start giving tickets. So
do you know if that specific ordinance was forwarded to the county officially?
That's running way back when. So there has to be it's an old ordinance. So it's going to get some research. So those questions we can't answer tonight. That's why
I will address it. Thank you, Madam President.
Get together tomorrow, go back through the legislation so you can see what he's really talking about. Okay?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Montague.
Mr. Bledsoe, I think you heard my little statement about Scotland Road over there where the children are crossing. I'm just appealing for more signage, more attention. A lot of the kids are crossing the street. Even the crossing guard, Miss Shirley Hendrickson, she's nervous about being a crossing guard out there.
Through your chair, Madam President, again, we will re-engage the business administrator along with the clerk to set up a discussion.
Right, maybe a blinking signal, something. Because kids are crossing the street in that area.
It's a noted, Councilman.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Hibbert has joined us. She's about to note the time.
I've been on the call since 7:24.
Okay. Yes, Councilwoman Hibbert.
8:25 now.
8:25?
How's it 8:25 when it says 7:44?
I'm sorry, didn't realize I was muted. I'm sorry, I was talking to someone else. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes, so through you, Council President, to Mr. Blesson, our county liaison. This is a conversation, a topic that you and I discussed since the Scotland Road is my district. And it is also tied to one of the ordinances that's been on the agenda regarding changing Frankfort Street into a one-way, which has been supported by information provided by the police department, who did a study on the motor vehicle accidents in that area. Before you joined us, we did have another liaison in which I did share a video, live footage of a child, two children and a father being hit at the intersection here. And that information was corroborated by the crossing guard, who also received crossing materials. And I actually purchased her more traffic cones. And some of those traffic cones have actually gone missing. I believe she said that another department took them or borrowed them, even though they were given to her by myself. To continue down this road that Councilman Montague is going down, he says that there's no flashing lights, but there is. So I would like to continue the conversation with you that we started about what's going on in my district on Scotland Road, because these concerns have been addressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody? And
Council President, I do have one more question as well.
Hold on 1 second. We have a person on the virtual that has no name, that just says hi. Could you identify yourself?
They are muted, but they can't unmute themselves unless I unmute them.
You want to unmute them real quick, because if they don't respond, then we're going to remove. Okay.
She just changed it.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilwoman Hubert.
Yes, am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Through you, Council President, to the Business Administrator. I had a question regarding the YWCA. Did we discuss if they reached an agreement on April 1st? Is it going to be sold to East Orange YWCA? What is the update on that?
I have no idea where the sale to the East Orange came from. That's never been on the table. And we're working on the documents to present them at the meeting on April 16th. We were hoping
Go ahead.
We were hoping to put them before the board tonight, but they weren't ready to come forward.
Okay, so East Orange is not interested in helping us with our Y, so who will? Who are we negotiating with?
Right now, we're negotiating with the developer, and in terms of the operational component of the recreation center, that's still an issue that we're working on. We've had discussions with the Metropolitan Y, which is not the East Orange Y. And we've had discussions with private entities who enter into operating agreements to run facilities of that nature. But nothing's been decided. Nothing will be ready to present on the 16th. The only things ready to present on the 16th will be the redevelopment agreement and the financial agreement.
The redevelopment and the financial agreement. What is the name of the developer?
It's Russo Properties.
Russo, okay. Familiar with Russo. All right, thank you so much, PA Hartwick. Madam President, I'm done. Thank you so much.
Trish, I think we have one other person up here. There's a phone number with no identity.
I've asked them to unmute.
It's 973-634.
They've unmuted. Can you identify yourself, please?
We need
Yes, my name is Michael Marucci.
Can you type your name in there?
I'm sorry?
Can you put your name up?
I did it.
You did it, Michael Marucci. Thank you. Did I miss anyone?
Yes, Council President. I think I heard you say, Mr. Belia, we had no discussion with, this is all news to me too, discussion regarding some kind of collaboration with the East Orange Y?
No.
Heard of that. Okay, all right, thank you.
Keep in mind, that is the whole development area. Not only includes the wire, it includes some other places that's abandoned over there. So that's a whole development area, not just the wire.
Council
anyone? Yes,
Council.
Councilman Wooten.
I think, no, I'm not going to speak for him. Sometimes it appears that meetings are being held with council people and the administration, and the entire council isn't given privy to those meetings. So if we're not in those meetings, can we just receive minutes from the meetings so we'll all be on the same page, please?
Councilman, I think when people go in and just sit down with the administrator, there are no minutes. And I know that, I just want to say, I know that you have privilege to do that also. So I don't think that's a policy we want to put in place, because at any given time, I could go in and sit down with the business administrator and we could just have a conversation. So I don't think we want to start that set of precedents. So, because when you and your colleague or somebody goes to meet, you don't do minutes. So I don't think we want to go that route.
But I don't necessarily come back on the council meeting and discuss and say that there was a meeting.
I don't know who said that tonight. I don't know who said that. Okay. And we need to admit Michael Marucci back into the meeting. Can you admit Michael Marucci back?
He's in.
Yeah, okay. Because I see at the top it says admit one, so okay. Did I miss anyone? If not, please move the agenda.
Communications and petitions. A virtual public hearing will be held on April 10th, 2024 by the New Jersey American Water Company, Inc. regarding a petition filed for the approval of increased tariff rates and charges for water and waterway services, charge and depreciation rates, and other tariff modifications. Additional details and instructions for dialing into the meeting are available in the clerk's office or by visiting New Jersey American Water Company website. And the website is on the clerk's page and is also on the agenda. Citizen comments. Please be advised that members of the public wishing to orally address the council on any subject matter shall be permitted to do so during this portion of the meeting by indicating a raised hand at this time. When called upon by the council president, each speaker must enable his or her camera and microphone and state his or her name and street address before proceeding further. Those unable to activate a camera may still be permitted to speak at the council president's discretion. To facilitate maximum public involvement and maintain order, each person will have 1 5-minute period to interact orally with the council. Screen sharing or visual aids will not be permitted. Written comments submitted in advance of this meeting were forwarded to the council members, published on the city's website, and will be appended to the final approved minutes. They will not be read aloud, and anyone submitting a written statement will not be permitted to also speak at this meeting. The council will consider any comments and questions, oral or written, and respond if and when appropriate, which may or may not be during this meeting. Members of the public are reminded to be courteous and mindful of other individuals' rights when speaking. A council meeting is not the proper venue to discuss personal matters or lodging complaints against specific city employees or private individuals who may have personal protections afforded them under the state and or federal law. Therefore, each speaker should consider how his or her remarks may trigger these protections for anyone identified in or affected by them, and should be aware that they are legally responsible for their own statements. The city bears no liability for any comments made by any member of the public and anyone repeatedly speaking out of turn or making comments that are disruptive, obscene, or otherwise offensive in nature and may be permanently removed from this meeting.
Okay, first hand is Aisha Samuel.
Aisha Samuel. Oh wait, sorry. Video. Okay. Sorry, I had to run upstairs and come back down. Aisha Samuel, 401 Highland Terrace. Okay, so I have a couple of things. First is that my driveway was painted a few years ago, and a few days ago, my neighbor decided to paint over the yellow with white on my side of the property. So I'm going to need Public Works to come back to repaint the yellow. And I do have a question as well, because there's a tree on my side of the yard, and they chopped down part of that tree on their side of the yard, but they left all of the trimmings that they chopped on my side of the yard. So I'm wondering who is supposed to dispose of that, because I was always told that even if somebody owns the tree, if you decide to chop down the tree that's on your side of the property, that you are supposed to be the one to dispose of it. So I would like that answered. The second is, a car was towed last night, and I wanted to know what was going on with the permit parking meeting that was supposed to have occurred like about a month ago, because I forgot to ask about it at the last meeting, what that decision was. And even with the permit parking, if a sign says that there's no parking from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and people are parked, what happens to those cars? Do they get towed? Do they just get ticketed? Like, what happens with that? Another thing is, last week, Essex County spoke about the Orange Park and adding trees and stuff like that. Why wasn't community input a part of that? And we weren't allowed to ask them questions at all because they left the meeting too early. And I suggest that they put in fruit trees and other trees like that. And what is going on with the open space account? And if possible, why haven't they used that money to do certain things with the playgrounds and other open spaces, and also plant more fruit trees like mulberry trees, which is native to New Jersey, both the white and the red? And the last thing is, what is going on with the quiet zone legislation? Is that for the entire town, or is that for just a particular street? And what has happened to it? That was it. My main thing is, though, about the cars. Oh, and what is going on with the parking authority? Because we haven't heard anything about the parking authority at all since its inception. The last thing that was mentioned was that it was some people who were part-time, and that they still don't come into, from what I gathered, they still don't come into like neighborhoods and stuff like that, because again, people are still getting towed. And right now, I'm at a space where I honestly feel like going out and destroying property, because I'm tired of this. This is going on 6 years. 6 years I've been dealing with this. And I understand that you guys think that you have done all that you can, but no, you haven't done all that you can. There's still some other things. The permit parking is what you can do. But 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if somebody parks on this side of the road, they should get towed. Because I don't want to have to live like this for the next 6 years, where I have to continually check my dog on camera before I come home and before I leave to make sure that I can actually leave and come back into my driveway. That is unfair, and I'm so I'm done because I gotta calm down. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Business Administrator Hartwick.
I'll address a couple of the questions which fall under our domain. As far as Orange Park goes, it is a county facility. Some of the council people were seeing that presentation for the first time. That was the first time I saw the presentation. There wasn't an opportunity during the county's development of that proposal for public input. That was the purpose of the presentation, so that we could react to it. But again, it is a county project in a county park. With respect to permit parking, we've had 2 meetings. It is, as you can imagine, not a simple solution. There are permit parking issues that go to various areas of the city, a lot of areas of the city actually, and there has been an increasing number of requests to convert streets to permit parking. The ordinances are not set up for that, and so we're studying exactly what it is that needs to be put in place legislatively in order to appropriately handle requests for permit parking, and also to make recommendations as to what streets should be permit parking and what type of permit parking those streets should be. With respect to the quiet zone legislation, that's an ongoing issue. We will come back to that when we've had an opportunity to discuss the current status with the law department.
Parking Authority.
Oh, yes. The parking authority should be up and running by July 1. We've already hired some enforcement officers. They've been trained and sworn in. They are only currently being used during the daytime and only in the areas in and around Main Street and the train stations. But as the parking authority is implemented, the plan is to put parking enforcement officers on 24 hours a day in part-time shifts, so there will be evening and nighttime enforcement in the neighborhoods as well as in the downtown. There are a couple things that have to be completed from a preparatory or structural standpoint before the parking authority is fully operational. One of those things has to do with their budget. They'll initially have to be funded by the city because they won't realize any revenues until the first several months, if not year, of their existence. So part of the delay in the implementation of the parking authority is related to the city's adoption of a budget, which will have to account for the operating costs of the authority for the first 6 months or the balance of this year.
And Business Administrator, could you have Director Mays have someone go out and look at the driveway tomorrow?
Yes, and with respect to your tree issue and the disposal of the limbs, I will have the law department look at that and get back to you this week.
And open space, would have given an update on that.
I wasn't sure whether the question went to the Open Space Committee or the use of open space funds. If it goes to the use of open space funds,
right,
those funds oftentimes come under consideration for use during budget discussions. And some of the funds have been used to beautify parks and to support maintenance of those parks. Some of the funds have been utilized to acquire additional property or portions of property, but no major commitments of the open space funds have been made beyond those that I just mentioned. And as far as the Open Space Committee goes, they're working on it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sevius. Mr. Martha? Richard Martha? Can you unmute him, please? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Great. Good evening, Richard Martha, 740 McLaughlin Place. Thank you, Council President. Good evening, members of the Council, the administration, and my fellow residents of Orange. I would like to make a short but important statement for the record. I think I speak for myself, my family, and many fellow residents in expressing a deep sense of disappointment, embarrassment, and concern regarding the recent events surrounding the ballot draw in City Hall chambers. As a resident deeply invested in the integrity of our democratic processes, I cannot stay silent in the face of actions that can only be described at best as dishonest, self-serving, and at worst, potentially criminal. The revelations brought to light by Superior Court Judge Gardner.
Point of order, Mr. Marcher. Alan Mizrahi.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about this.
All right, it's the wrong forum for that.
Yeah, it's the wrong forum for this. It's in litigation. We're not going to be discussing this during.
He has to go to
Could you provide us with an idea of when the right forum will be to address?
You can give my office a call tomorrow and we can discuss it, but it's not going to be discussed in public until the litigation is resolved.
Thank you. Mr. Livingston?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on. Let me fix my camera. Hold on. Yeah. I'm here. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And we can see.
All right, start my time. It's unfortunate that you guys are threatening citizens to be kicked out of a public meeting.
I'm sorry, Mr. Livingston.
Yo, I didn't even start.
We need your name and your address, please.
My name is Devin Livingston. Address 190 Oxford Street. Ready? First of all, we have a constitution protected right to freedom of speech. And it's also in the Sunshine Law that we are protected to speak on any matter that has to do with the city, and that's even city council. So even if you guys don't like something, you should allow the brother to speak and speak his piece. That's why you guys have the right to not respond. But to kick someone out of a public meeting and to mute them for a constitutionally protected right is unconstitutional and it's uncivil, right? I wanted to start there, but moving on. I wanted to talk about recreation, right? Let's talk about these kids. We've been in the gym since October. We only had one game since then. You guys keep pushing back the dates, When is the season going to be over? Graduation? And then on top of it, you guys charge these kids $35 and all they get is a printed t-shirt, no short, a printed t-shirt, and delayed time. Not only do you guys not come out and support these young men and women, you guys don't do anything. You don't even show your face. A couple of you guys came out. But there's amazing young men and women in the community, and you guys are up here unorganized, arguing amongst each other. I see nothing has changed amongst you guys. Nothing at all. And then you come on here and speak false information. I have filled out Oprah requests that has been deprived and denied, or 3 or 4 months to get back to. But yet you guys come on here and say that all Oprah requests have been approved. I don't get it. I'm very excited to be here. I haven't been here in a long time, but I'm not excited to see that nothing has changed. Nothing has changed amongst you guys. And then who is a federal worker in city council for you guys to be saying that you guys are protected under federal law? You know you can't impersonate a federal official or state official. The only state official I know is Mr. Montague because he used to work at the unemployment office. But for you guys to act like you guys are protected under federal laws and you guys aren't a federal worker, it's a crime. It's a crime. And I want to know who wrote that statement up because I want to file a court complaint for harassment. Harassment. You guys are harassing us and trying to be quiet. You're harassing us and trying to stay quiet, and you're not allowing us to speak, which we have a freedom of speech. And then you guys sit up here and you say amen and God this and God that, but you're not even for your people. It doesn't make sense to me. You guys come up here on these city council meetings and you guys wing it. Unorganized, wing it. You guys are winging it. You guys don't deserve to be there. You know what? I'm gonna see how this goes. How this I don't even want to call it an election. I'm gonna see how this circus goes. Then how this circus goes after 4 years. Guess what? Be ready, cause I'm getting ready. Money involved. I am investing. I'm investing in a whole new group to get you guys out of there. You use the law attorney as your defense attorney, which is illegal. You use them to bully the community. It has to stop. You use the police as your personal police officer. Nepotism all in the city council. It has to stop. So I hope you guys are prepared. I hope whatever results you get, be happy with it, because next election time, you guys will be removed. And I am putting my money together for an investigation to be done on all you guys, because I'm taking all these city council meetings and all these violations that you guys are violating against the community, unconstitutionally, uncivilly, and you guys are against the Sunshine Law. Just because you put out a few banners doesn't mean you guys are still not violating the Sunshine Law. Not allowing us to speak and have a freedom of speech is unconstitutional and is against constitutional rights, and it's uncivil. So stop with the madness.
Thank you. Ms. Hilaire?
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Malali St. Hilaire. I'm at 472 Alden Street. And I just have a few questions. It's my first time attending this meeting, so I'm a little new. Please forgive me. But I do want to address a couple of things. The parks that were recently renovated, can you identify any of those parks that include any sensory play for children on the spectrum? That's number one. Number two, for the Public Orange Library, I just went into the website. They don't have any events on the website for the month of April, May, or June. Who is in charge of that, and how can we make sure that there are activities for children or teenagers? And the reason I ask is because we need activities like this because, for those of you unaware, there is a mental health crisis in this country, and it is affecting Black and Brown communities the most, unfortunately. So, as a follow-up, I do want to know what is the city of Orange doing to promote mental health awareness and well-being for the community. If you can please address those. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, I can answer that first question if you want me to.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Ms. Hilaire, that question has started to come up years and years ago in relation to the parks. So every park that we have has a couple pieces of equipment for people on the spectrum.
And as far as the library, Mr. Hardwick, are the library meetings on the website? Because I'm going to suggest you go to the library board meetings and bring up the questions she has and concerns about the library.
It's my understanding that they're in person, but there may
What are
be.
the meeting dates? Are the meeting dates on the website?
I'll check.
Can we make sure the meeting dates for the library are on the website so that Ms. Hilaire have access to that and she can go to the library board meetings and get those answers?
Sure.
And I think that was the two questions that we needed to respond to. All right. Are there any more? I think I'm on the wrong. Let me go back. Mr. Laird, did that answer your two questions?
I just wanted to. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I just wanted to know, what is the City of Orange doing to promote mental health awareness, given that for the month of May, it is Mental Health Awareness Month? What is the, what are we doing?
Mr. Hartwig, you want to talk about the resolution that's on the agenda for tonight that we're going to for mental health?
Sure. We're awarding a contract to the Greater Essex Counseling Services as part of a grant program that we've received from opioid funds to provide counseling, both inpatient and outpatient, for not only addiction, but for dual diagnosis individuals. Some of those will be referrals from law enforcement, from EMS, from local hospitals, and some of them can be walk-ins. It's a 6-month program or until the funds run out, and then we'll look at renewal. In addition, we have supported some not-for-profits through CDDP grants and sub-grants for similar counseling services with local counseling centers. Those are our current objectives.
Can you, I'm looking for the ordinance number so she can call the clerk's number if she doesn't have it and get a copy of it tomorrow. Do you remember what number that is?
I'm looking now.
And I just want to say for the record, for us, which one is it?
219, 2024.
Mr. Last 219, 2024. It's a resolution. It's a resolution. You can request it from the clerk's office tomorrow, and it'll go into detail as to what we're doing for mental health. And if anyone have any suggestions or any referrals that they want to make, they can always call our business administrator, and we will look into the program that you want to implement. You can always come to us with, we don't know everything. So if you see something out there that you would like to see implemented in Orange, please get in touch with our business administrator or council member so we can explore your ideas. Episola? I'm not going to try the last name.
It's okay. It's Oshintolu, but it's okay. Yeah. My name is Abisala Oshintolu. I live at 223 I Street. I have two questions, I would say. One is about the library. The other day I attended the meeting, the board meeting at the library, and myself and one of my colleagues, because I also work in Orange at the public school with the public schools, and we brought, we gave them some observations. We told them what we observed and what we expect. We're teaching students about the science of reading at school, and I just imagine that the library should be a place where we can refer parents to get all the resources that they need. But unfortunately, our Orange is not, is not ready for that. As a parent, with my kids growing up in Orange, I've had to go to West Orange Library, South Orange Library. At one time, they banned us from coming to West Orange Library because they said we were owing, Orange residents were owing money, and they didn't want us to borrow books anymore. It's a shame that we pay taxes and we cannot use the library in Orange. So I really want us to, I really want to know what plans do we have to make sure that this library is up and running, because the summer is coming and our students will be referred to the library. But I just imagine that they would be referred to the library and nothing would happen. They would not get all the resources they need. So that's one. The other one is that I live, like I said, I live on High Street, and a couple of accidents have occurred recently on High Street. I think the speed limit is not being observed, and something has to be done, to break the speed of those cars that pass on that road. It is very, very dangerous, I would say, and I just can't imagine what would happen if something is not done. I understand that for High Street is a county road, but still we live in Orange. I mean, like, what is the What can the city do about this? I really want to know. And those are my two observations for tonight.
Are you talking about accidents at Alden and High Street?
On I Street, what's the name of that street now? Of course, I can't remember, but one happened back in February.
By the park.
The car was hit.
Was it Alden?
Before the park. Is that Alden? What's the name of the street across from me? I can't even. But as soon as you get in from Park Avenue, right, just right there, before the park.
Parkinson.
An accident occurred in last February. A car was hit right in front of my house. I live on 223 High Street, so yeah, cars really they go too fast on that street. Something could be done.
Right. We looked at that. I've had the engineers out, and unfortunately, I wanted a 4-way stop sign at High at Alden, and the county said we couldn't do that. So we will take another look. You have my number. I can give you my number. You can call me.
Okay. All right. Let me get your number, please. Hold on a minute. All right. Go ahead.
973 651 7439.
7439. Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you. When do you want me to call you back on about this matter?
Anytime. You can call me anytime.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wally Campbell.
Okay. Are we resetting the clock? Okay, perfect. Thank you. I had a list of things to discuss, but after Mr. Martha was shut down, I am livid. I think to echo what Devon Livingston said, you guys are taking away our civil rights. You are harassing us. You are censoring us. This is a nightmare. So, Ms. Easton, you prayed for this city at the top of the hour, at the top of the meeting. I think you need to continue praying for this city because what is going on during this time is a travesty. He should be allowed. He was not talking about details of a case. He should not have been shut down and censored and quiet, and he should have had the floor and the opportunity to speak his piece. And the fact that no council member spoke up in his favor, okay, to a lawyer who has been found unlawful and illegal.
I'm sorry.
We're going to mute you.
Absolutely not.
You gotta let her finish. That's her right.
All right.
It is her time.
No, it is not her right to defame somebody. It is not her right to defame somebody. This is where you're wrong. It is not her right to defame somebody.
That's right. We read that in the beginning. Ms. Lanier read the comments in the beginning as that we should abide by.
Nobody has been found guilty of a crime. Nobody has been found guilty of doing anything wrong. This matter is still in litigation.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Eagle? Going forward with these
yes.
I'm just asking you to be courteous and respectful. We are going to get through this meeting. This is a meeting of the city council. I can
Council President, you should give her time back.
Would you please mute, please? We should be able to hold this meeting and get through it peacefully. There's a lot of frustration going on and things are happening, but this is a council meeting. So we will get through this meeting tonight. Any concerns that you have that's not addressed, you can always go to the city attorney's office in the morning in City Hall.
Ms. Engel needs to raise her hand again.
Who does?
Carmen Engel.
Ms. Engel? Ms. Engel?
There it is. Nope. Okay.
Yes, she's Ms. Eagle. Unmute Ms. Eagle. But she was talking.
All right.
Hi. Your camera on? Yes, you have
the camera on.
You need the camera on. You need your camera on.
I'm trying to. Looks like I'm done talking. Hold on a second. I'm working on it. All right. Every time I enable camera, stops video. Okay. This is Carmen Engel and Carolyn Engel.
Do we see her yet?
Carolyn Macmillan. Excuse me. Hold on.
Hold on, Rosita, we don't see you yet. Raise
You
your
don't
hand
see
again. Raise your hand.
Raise my hand again. Okay. Just a moment.
No, I can see her. Is that
Can
your
you
mother? I see both of
This
you.
is my
Yeah.
aunt. This is my aunt Carolyn Macmillan.
We
Hi.
can't see them. I don't know why. Raise
Oh,
your
I
hand
see them.
again.
Okay. We reside at 174 Haywood Avenue. I'll raise my hand again.
There we go. There you
Okay.
go. We got you
Okay.
again. Okay, I've listened to what everyone had to say. I have some concerns about the city of Orange, period. Since I've been here since 1969. My parents owned the house prior, bought it from them, now sold it to my niece. But the concern that I have is the atmosphere or the what's in the air now. You got a lot of anger and hostility toward new people who come into the neighborhood, right? We should be inclusive, we should be welcoming, and that is not happening. What we see is people, these little groups, right? And dissension comes, right? Neighbor against neighbor, and it shouldn't be that way. We should always help. I found someone across the street from me, right? A gay couple, right? Someone went into his garage, stole his bike. And it was like someone told me, it's like, but do you know when? I went on my camera, took my time, went on my camera to look and see that someone did go up there. I saw the whole thing on my camera. And no one else in this neighborhood took the time to do it. They want to party, but they don't want to look out for their neighbors. Looking out for our neighbors is making sure that we do the right thing. It would be like, what would Jesus do? Right? And that's what we want to do. What would Jesus do? Right. Right. The council can help by reinforcing the laws that we have. There are laws on it, but there are nuisance laws. This past weekend, I came into the house and I said, do you hear that? And my niece goes, hear what? No, do you hear that? Right? She said, I hear the birds. No, that's not it. I said, do you hear that? There was no music. From Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sometimes it's good. I have prayed for snow. I have prayed for a hurricane just so I don't have to listen to that noise. I don't have to try and get into my driveway, right? Over amplified speakers, I hear boom, boom, boom in my ear, and I'm sleeping. I'm trying to get some sleep. As far as safety, I don't feel safe with all those cars in the neighborhood. Not at all. Right? Because I don't know what element is coming into the neighborhood. Right? We have had robberies on the streets. We had fighting on the street. We had people do stuff that should be done in the bathroom on the streets. Right? No one is caring for each other. Right? I have neighbors down the street that are being targeted. And I think, myself, I think it's racist. Right? Whether they be LGBT, they be Latino, they be white, they be whatever. It shouldn't be that way. It was never that way when we first moved here. Right? We were one of the first blacks here, and we never had a problem. No one is trying to take over. They're trying to live a life just like we're trying to live a life. Right? I will go out of my way to be nice. I would go out of my way to do anything I can for them. But when our city don't have the backing, or we don't have the backing from the city, it's very discouraging, right? Because you hear words like faggot, you hear words like, monkeys. You hear these things coming out of other humans' mouths toward another human being, right? And the council, is not doing anything. The music, sorry, I'm not mentioning any names, but our council person told us to close the windows. It's hot as hell out there. And I'm going to close the window because you don't know how to do your job. That's not fair to us. You got anything?
Hi, this is Carmen Engel. I, like I said, reside here at 174 with my Aunt Carolyn Macmillan and my husband, Brent Engel. There's the letter I'd like to read. It's a short letter. It was sent to Orange City Council.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
over a little bit.
Ma'am, you have 26 seconds.
I have 26 seconds.
Okay, the 26 seconds. I received the letter. I think we all did. I know I read it.
Regarding the quiet zone.
Yes, we noted that, and I think our business administrator just addressed the quiet zone earlier.
Was it? It was okay.
It was addressed.
Was it addressed earlier?
It was addressed. They're looking into it. The law department is going to look into it. So we are hearing what you're saying. It's just that sometimes you don't hear what we're saying. Man, we're all listening. We're all listening. And remember, we are legislators, and we forward all of your information to the proper authorities or the proper departments that's supposed to handle those situations. I take notes every night, and tomorrow I will go through my notes with the departments. Now, how soon things happen is up to those departments who has to go through the whole program. Everything is a policy. We have to legislate it to make it happen, and we have to put together some policy in place to make sure that it's abided by. Our police officers do things by the statutes that are written and the legislation that's passed. Sometimes that takes time. So all we're asking is that you be patient. We're working on the situation. We have not forgotten you. I read your letter today. So we all got that same information, and we have read it, and we will respond. Okay? Thank you very much for your concerns. Fabiola Judy? I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Could you give us your name and your address, please? Please unmute.
741 McLaughlin Place. And last meeting, I did ask for something and they were supposed to call me back and no one calls me. And
ma'am,
everything that I had to say tonight, I'm just gonna not saying it because that's a disgrace to the city of Orange before the shutting of everybody up for whatever they have to say. I have nothing to do with the city because the city is a disgrace to all the people living in Orange. And really have no words. No words after what just happened in front of us when they shot two people trying to speak. But I'm gonna stop right there. And can they please give me a call back about the conversation the other day that I had? They had my number.
Do you have her number?
Call.
You want to give us your number one more time, please?
973-223-2654.
Thank you. Someone will be in touch with you tomorrow.
I hope so. And once again, for what happened today, you all come from any officers, from any members of the city should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is a council meeting, and we are trying to conduct city business. We understand your frustration. We understand that.
I'm not happy.
We are doing what we need to be. Like I said, if you have any concerns tomorrow, you can go to the city attorney's office.
They're not talking to anybody anyway. The city don't do anything for us.
All right.
We just
thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Carol Haywood King. Can you unmute her, please? We need your name and address.
Carolyn Hayward King, 498 Mountain View. I just wanted to let Mr. Mays know that last summer when they did all the work for the substation and Mountain View was closed at the bottom of the street, there's a pothole developing there. So I don't know who's responsible for refilling it, but I just wanted to make him aware so that it doesn't get any bigger. So I guess when they repaved the street, whatever, it wasn't done properly or whatever the case is, but it's coming up, and before it gets any bigger, I don't know who would be responsible for refilling it, but just making them aware of that. And then also, Mountain View the sidewalks still have not been done. So my husband is a disabled vet and he has problems ambulating. So our sidewalks are so bad that he's a little afraid to walk up and down the streets because he thinks he may fall. We have a lot of seniors as well. So I'd just like to know, will this be the summer or spring that our sidewalks get paved?
Council President, can I answer?
Yes, Director.
Yeah, on the first thing, the pothole, I'll check that out in the morning. I'm gonna give you my number. You can call me. I'm gonna check it out though, but just in case, 973-885-1921. Okay. And then I've been receiving complaints about your sidewalks for a couple of years now. I put it in to be done, I say about 2 years ago. I'm just waiting for the project to be approved. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Shireen Williamson?
Yes, hi, my name is Shireen Williamson. I live at 447 Alden Street. Wow, I had a question, but now just listening to this meeting once again, I've watched other council meetings in other towns and have been, and citizens are allowed to speak out on their frustration. I am extremely disappointed in my own councilwoman. I think people should be allowed. I don't think people should be allowed to discuss it in private at City Hall. I think citizens should be allowed to speak publicly in these meetings so that other citizens, because sometimes other citizens don't know how to speak up for their concerns or probably don't remember. But the fact that they're able to speak up, you should allow us to speak up about our concerns. So once again, in this meeting, I just started coming back. I'm still disgusted. I'm still disappointed in this town, and I can't wait for the cleanup to happen. Anyway, I live on Alden Street, and I am tired of cars speeding right across from the park. They speed down this block, and as much as I hate speed bumps, I would really like to see something done because kids are across the street. I actually am a registered child care provider. I take kids to the park across the street, and as we speak, I'm hearing a car speeding down my block. So I want to know what can be done. And also, there's a sinkhole right in front of my driveway that the city keeps patching up since I moved in 2018. And they just keep patching up, but it's a sinkhole because there's a fire hydrant across the street. I would like to know if it can get repaired and when, because it accumulates so much water and it's right in front of my driveway.
Ms. Williamson, that would be my department. You want to take my number and I can meet you. You can show me, or we can.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Let me grab a pen. I'm trying to find a pen. Okay, what's your number?
My number is 973-885-1921. What number do you live at so I can look for the sinkhole?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, 973?
885-1921.
1921. Yeah, I live at 447 Alden Street.
Okay. All right. I'll be in contact with you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Ortega?
Good evening, Council President.
Good evening.
I would just like to speak briefly, as the person before me stated, on Mental Health Awareness Month. Let me just start by addressing, can someone please focus on Aisha Samuels? Please.
Turn on your camera. Yeah, you turn on your camera, Mr. Ortega. And you also give us your address, please.
Absolutely, Council President. 152 Haywood Avenue. Is that okay?
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. we see how incredibly hard Aisha Samuel's situation has hit her. At the beginning of this call, we heard incredibly terrible hate speech. We need your help. I'm reaching out and asking this council, this city government in its entirety, and I'm glad that our Essex County Chair is on the call, as he has set up several calls with the Essex Prosecutor's Office and such. We are in a dire situation in New Jersey, but in Orange specifically to speak, we're up the block from a primary school, a children's school, and we have issues that really speak to public safety that have not been addressed in 7 years. I speak on behalf of the elders that have been my backbone, specifically Miss Carolyn McMillan, who was just on the call. She has been having to leave her house after midnight to come down here to fight these people on this street on the corner. The corner of Haywood Avenue and South Central Street, which is a county road, I'm glad that Reginald Bledsoe is on the call. Reginald Bledsoe, perhaps you can help us out since it's a county road. It is being used as a latrine. It is being used. There are people who come here from everywhere during the summer, and there are cars up to Haxton. They are outside of our house yelling hate speech, and it's documented. You all have the videos. We need your help. We're asking in this month of mental health awareness and respect to the officer that took his life at the police station, in respect to the officers that come here and they scream them down into their cars, and they say, I ask them, do you need help? I'm asking the officers if they need assistance because of the way that they're treated. We're a community. We are a community, and we need to look out for each other, especially the elders and those that cannot. We have autistic children on this street. In 7 years, it's not been addressed. So I'm speaking to this in respect to the elders, the autistic children. We just had a baby that's here at our house now. They try, I can't get into specifics, but I'm pleading with you during Mental Health Awareness Month. Please do all that you can during this month so that we can start to thrive as a community. We hear all of this, everything going on right now, and we are asking you, please work with us. Please step up. Please enforce what's already on the books. You already have it on the books. We're just asking you to please enforce what's on the books. Because in 7 years, the situation has really become dire, and that you have senior citizens literally running in the street to protect their families. And this, I'm not even speaking on my own family. I'm speaking because for children and elders are really, we need to speak out for those who need the most help and the voices. Please help Aisha. Please help the McMillan family. They've been here 50 plus years, and in all of this time, they've never seen it become what it is today. We should not be having to fight people to not use our lawns as latrines. We should not be after, there's people falling on their face, leaving these things, they're literally carrying them to their cars so they can drive away. We need you. We're asking you, please step up. We know that you have the power to do it. We know that you want to do it for your community. We just are asking you to please work at a faster pace. And Reginald Bledsoe, please, at the county level, please do all that you can to assist them, because we're right off of a county road and we're across the street from a veteran hospital at that, and up the block from a school. Please don't let this come down and affect the children at the school. Thank you so much, Council President.
You're muted, Council President. Ms. Veronica Scott.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start off. I'm going to be extremely respectful because that's just who I am. However, I will say at the beginning of this call, there was a laundry list of do's and don'ts for the community in terms of what they can say, what they can't say, and that's fine because those are your rules. I am very saddened and disappointed, though, that people were not allowed to read their comments. I understand that this matter that I'm not going to mention is in litigation, but I do believe that people should have been allowed to at least read their statements or have their comments read before that was mentioned. I really don't understand the purpose of this meeting anymore because I feel like every time something is said that someone feels a certain type of way about, they are shut down and disregarded or muted. And so, having said that, I would like to know exactly what can be discussed with regards to these meetings. Is it DPW issues? Like what issues? Because now I'm a little concerned. I'm not really sure. What's the purpose? Because all I keep hearing is that is not the purpose of this call. Over and over again. Aside from that, I want to shout out to Marty Mays. We had a discussion earlier. Hopefully that matter we talked about has been resolved. However, I do want to ask you once again on the record about Argyle Avenue and what the status is with respect to speeding down that hill. I understand engineers have come out to look at this, but is there an ETA as to what's going to happen and when with respect to that? Also, I'm concerned about Valley Street over by Metcalf Park and the orange side. My tire almost got blown out the other day because it's so raggedy. I just want to know what we're allowed to say, if not where we should go, and the ETA on those follow-up items. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll respond on the roads. Valley Street, as I mentioned before, will be done. I submitted it about a year and a half ago. It's approved, so that's not going to be an issue, hopefully, any much longer. And then, I'm sorry, I forgot the other question that quick. What was it again, Ms. Scott?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. With regards to Valley Street, Argyle Avenue.
Oh, Argyle Avenue. We are looking at it. It will be something will be done there shortly. We're working.
Yeah, I know that's what we talked about before, but there's no estimated time frame.
Not right now. No, the spring is coming, so hopefully in a matter of weeks. I am working on it. It is a priority.
Okay.
Right.
And then lastly, I will just say this in terms of the purpose of these meetings, and this is not just for you, Marty, this is globally, in terms of sense of community. I think that people are upset and mad because they feel like they're not being heard. And I've said this before in terms of collaboration. I thought the purpose of these meetings were not just to hear the residents' concerns, but to work with them on getting them resolved. And so far, I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing any follow-up on prior meetings. I'm not seeing anyone being respectful. And people are getting upset. Some people are dropping off these calls. And that's not the essence of what this is supposed to be. What happened to the sense of community? We're never going to move forward in Orange if we continue in this fashion. That's it. I have nothing else to say. Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, Ms. Scott, we are assuming when we take notes on these meetings and we ask our directors to take notes that the follow-up is being done and giving you the answers. If that does not happen, feel free to reach out to any council people, any council member. You have 3 at-large members that you can reach out so we can help you with the follow-up. I mean, we're trying to get this city together. We're working very hard, and we do work hard as council members. So don't take it light and say we're not doing anything, because I'm out there every day. And I take calls all night long if they come in from my ward, all night long. So we are doing our best to make sure this city is on the move. And we're sorry if you're frustrated and you don't feel like that action is happening. But we have a lot of residents who's making comments that the city is getting much better, and we hope that is true. Ms. Jocelyn White.
Hi, sorry, my neighbor just bought me a pie. 1 second.
Are you sharing it?
Yeah, I would be happy to. Good evening. My name is Jocelyn White. My address is 2617 Belgrade Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I do, however, own a home in Orange. First question, it's been a while since I joined one of these. First question, is there any plan to ever bring the council meeting back in person? And that's my first question. I'll pause to see if anyone's able to answer that.
Ms. White, we are working on that as soon as we get City Hall together. Has been a lot of issues with our City Halls, and they're doing some renovations and some work, and we need to make sure the air is sufficient and clean, and that's what our business administrator is working on. So
Okay.
very soon we hope to be back in council chambers, but it has to be a safe environment.
Okay. Understood. My second question is there someone on the call from the IT department? I guess I'm trying to understand how these hacks keep occurring and if they're really hacks if the passcode is being publicly shared.
Well, the passcode and the virtual information is on the website.
Yeah, so and that being said, we might, and what follows back to me asking when things are going to be in person, at that point, it's not really a hack, right? Because we're publicly displaying information to access the call. So I guess, if I can get the information after the fact for the IT person, maybe that's something to consider in the future. Because it's unfortunate that that continues to happen to everyone. So happy to get those details if that person's not on the call tonight.
We will make sure at the next council meeting he's on so he can explain, because the only way we can stop that is we would have to go to where everyone is admitted and they would have to register to be on the call. And we're trying to go that route yet.
Okay.
Right.
Understood. And I guess my last thing is kind of just something to say on the record. I grew up in Orange, and I've seen some stuff, but what I've seen tonight, most of all, I think, has scared me the absolute most. I feel like the city and the rights of the citizens are under attack in a way. In that things are not, people aren't being held accountable for certain things through legal loopholes. Tennessee, you were the councilwoman when I was a kid in the North Ward, and I think I bring this to you because I've worked with you the most, and just to bring it up to say that the city needs help. Right? There's a lot happening. It's more than just crime. It's becoming a civil rights issue. And, I hope, and maybe not just you, Tennessee, just leadership in general on this call. I hope someone can do something because, this is the censorship is a lot scarier than gangs and guns to me. As a community, we should be working together. And as council men and women, my hope is that in the future, we can find some common ground and touch on some bipartisanship and really work together and figure things out. But that's never going to happen if things are going the way they continue to go. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Ms. White. And just so that you know, the only thing we try to do as a leadership is to run an orderly meeting. If you do the city of Orange as a business, and if you were at your business, you were sitting in a conference room, you wouldn't be able to yell and scream and call people names and say all of that stuff because you have a boss sitting there and you try to work as a committee. And that's all we're doing. And we ask the same respect from you guys that you give us. And we do work very hard to make sure that the things in the wards are taken care of. You hear my council people all the time talking about different issues that they see. I ride around, I call Chris Hotwick probably 2 or 3 times a day. But we are working. But all we ask is a little respect, and that we know you're frustrated. But that is not the place to air all of your frustrations and to yell and scream at us, because we are people too. We are people too. And we work hard. And it's not an easy job being a public servant. We know we should be able to take all of the knocks and the bumps and the scrapes and all of that. But just like dealing with your own children, we also would like some respect. And that's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Easton. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Ms. Leslie Holloran?
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yes. Hi, my name is Lindsay Holloran. I'm a resident of 588 Argyle Ave, Apartment 2. And this is my upstairs neighbor, Natasha McCoy at 588 Argyle Ave, Apartment 3. And we have some concerns about slumlords and unsafe homes where people are going to get hurt. And code enforcement has seen it. They write them daily tickets. There's no certificates of occupancy. There's no certificates of habitability. The porch is now leaning back. You can see where the house is sinking into the ground. The third floor was Section 8. They never did an inspection. So there's no CO, there's no CH. Section 8's last inspection discovered that the frame is separating from the foundation. There's times where we have boiling hot water in our toilet. We don't know. Luckily she has Section 8, so she's able to move. I'm from Morris County originally, actually Morristown, so I'm very familiar with these meetings. And I was homeless for about 10 months when I was placed here. And through TRA for Morris County. And he accepted this money. Nothing gets fixed. Like I said, no CO, no CH, nothing's up to code. There's a fourth illegal apartment in this building. He's actually just rented out another apartment in this building. The walls physically shake on a windy day. She's got chunks of her floor pulled up above me because her subfloor is so damaged, which is my ceiling. I shouldn't feel like an earthquake when her 34-pound toddler runs across the floor. It shouldn't shake the bottom apartment like that, and it shouldn't do that vice versa. And then he started construction without permit, left the work, started it for 3 days, left it over 3 weeks ago, and we've called code enforcement, we've done the things, and I don't feel I should have to jump through a bunch of red tape to get this landlord to actually get in trouble and force him to fix the property or take the property away from him. His other properties in white communities like Belleville are up to code with COs and CHs. And I feel this landlord does this in the minority community because he can do it and get away with it. And obviously by the appearance of it, he does, because the frame and the foundation is broken. And when you come out to the home and you walk up the stairs, you tilt to the left. Like, what has to happen? Does the ceiling or wall or the whole back porch have to fall off with someone in it? He doesn't even provide us a trash can for the trash. He'd rather just take the tickets. He could care less. And I need to know what the city of Orange is going to do for landlords like this. Like, this is a definition of a slumlord. You can slap paint on this pig all day, but at the end of the day, it's a pig. And like I said, code enforcement has come out. I've open requested to see about certificates, the COs, the CHs, and the reports. So obviously the town is aware of it, but that as far as it goes, like, oh, we know about it. I have 4 children in the home. I'm a mom of 9, and 5 of my children are adults. And my one son's in college for engineering, and he comes over once a week to visit, and he gets nervous for us to the point where he doesn't even like coming over anymore. Just walking up the stairs makes him nervous. Like he feels the rumbling. On the windy day, the house moves. I thought my house was haunted. I wish it was haunted, but no, it's just shaking. And this house apparently has collapsed before. And what are we going to do about this landlord and other landlords like this? He has other properties here. And is he just getting away with it because it just gets swept under the rug? It's really a sad situation. You know, like I have a disabled child. I have a 2-year-old son with Downs. I shouldn't have to sit up all night worrying whether or not the ceiling's going to fall in on him. And it's mold, and there's mold all over. Like when it rains, it sounds like waterfalls running through the wall, and the basement floods. But all you guys want to do is write in daily tickets that you don't give a shit about. I'm sorry, if people don't care about their parking tickets, what makes you think these landlords are going to care about frivolous tickets that you guys write him? Because you aren't taking his property away.
Ms. Holleran, are you talking about the apartment you live in or house next door?
I'm talking about the apartment I live in and the whole entire house.
All right. I think Ms. Bess joined us. Ms. Bess, you want to take her information, or do you want to respond?
Council President, either can I just give you? I don't know if you want to give your number publicly. I can give you my city number so you can call me tomorrow.
I can hear you, Ms. Lindsay. Can you unmute Ms. Lindsay, please?
Actually, I don't care about giving my number publicly. Like I said, I'm from Morristown. I'm not unfamiliar with these meetings.
What's your number? I'll take it down now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. It's area code 929 5080 6514. Like we're getting ready to try and move back to a hotel. Our family's getting ready to go back to being homeless.
And you said 588 Argyle?
Yes, 588 Argyle Ave, apartment 2 and apartment 3.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow because I do want to let you know the options of things that can be done. Besides code enforcement, just ticketing daily. But we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys so very much.
No problem.
So very much. Thank you.
And I just want to say to our directors on this call that you're taking this information. Please make sure you do a follow-up tomorrow.
Absolutely, Council President.
Thank you. Ms. McMillan Bennett.
Hi, this is Danielle McMillan Bennett, and I'm at 458 Tremont Place. And I came to ask questions about a few issues pertaining to public safety. I think that's been a running theme throughout the evening. And I think it was Carmen Engel who mentioned something about the cars on her street on Haywood Avenue. So we're on Tremont Place, and one of the issues that we have is that there's not supposed to be any overnight parking in the area. I've brought this issue up before in council meetings. I've also reached out whenever I would see suspicious vehicles parked on my street, but nothing ever happens. And, when we first moved here in 2017, police cars used to patrol the area overnight to make sure that it was residents that were parking. So I'd like to, one question is what's being done? Because obviously it's not being enforced. When you have issues like the family, Ms. McMillan and Ms. Engel on Haywood Avenue talking about, people from everywhere just parking and using the bathroom and littering and doing whatever on their street. Obviously it's because folks know that they could come to Orange and do whatever they want to do and get away with it, which is unfortunate. One suggestion that I have is perhaps enforcing annual parking permits that need to be renewed. I think I've lived in different townships throughout New York and New Jersey where it was a way to keep a record of who is parked on the street, but also if you don't see the permit, then that means that person doesn't live here. So I think it's a proactive way to try to keep residents safe. Another issue that I wanted to bring up was one-ways at school, on schools. The parents have fought very hard to make Haywood Avenue a temporary one-way with the help of the police department, and they've been great. But it's not enough. I think that People still do the wrong thing, and it needs to become official, where it's an official one-way during drop-off and pickup during those hours only, or during the school day. But we would hate to see someone's child or family member be injured simply because someone doesn't want to abide by, the police or one of the school staff members. And quite frankly, it's not the principal or teacher's job to make sure that people are following traffic rules. Another issue around public safety is that ATV vehicles. It's the springtime. It's starting to get nice. Again, and with that, there are ATV vehicles that drive up and down Tremont Avenue. Supposedly, one of the council members made a ban of it throughout Orange. They come back every year. They drive up and down the block, and it's not safe. And I'd like to know what's being done to enforce ATV vehicles being banned in Orange. Another issue that I have outside of public safety now is with the planning board. I'm curious if there's a process where residents can propose ideas for projects. I've reached out and tried to leave a message, but the mailbox is full with the planning board person. As a person that has retail experience in my professional life, I'd love to be able, and as a creative, I'd love to be able to submit ideas, because with the planning board approving nothing but apartments and the proliferation of these ill-planned projects, I feel like Orange is being turned into one gigantic housing project. Like we can't just have apartment buildings, no retail, or even no opportunity for someone who has an idea for a business to purchase a building or land, or repurpose a historic building without it being torn down and turned into multi-unit housing, at least, someplace where people can afford to live. And then on that note, my last issue is small business. Orange is difficult to do business with as a small business owner. We've been interested in working with small businesses and helping with their marketing, but also helping people start small businesses here in Orange. And we find that the road is very difficult. And if there was some sort of council or something where they can come and, come together and help them make that path clearer, that would be much appreciated. And that's it.
Thank you. Unfortunately, Ms. Bennett, we don't have anybody from our police department representative here tonight, but we want to make sure that does not happen at another meeting. So we're taking the notes, and we will make sure that, do you want to give me your number and I'll forward it to the police chief?
Raise your hand again.
You have to raise your hand again. You want to leave your number so we can have someone call you tomorrow?
Yes, that's fine. My number is 347 684 6098.
I'm going to ask them to set up a face-to-face meeting with you, okay?
That'd be great, thank you.
All right.
Council President?
Yes.
Ms. McQuana.
Oh, yes, Ms. Bliss.
I just wanted to let Ms. Bennett know that I can be in contact with her and introduce her with Chris Mobley as far as the small businesses that she was speaking about, and how to get that, who does she need to speak to in order to facilitate that, as well as I'm sure B.A. Hartwig would also meet with her in discussions of any ideas that she would have commercially for the city of Orange as far as development goes.
Thank you. I've spoken with the BA, and not much progress was made there, but thank you.
I'll be in touch, and we'll all meet, and we can go through the process, of course. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Scott?
Good evening. You hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Where are you?
Okay. I'm sorry. Good evening. You see me now?
I can see you now.
Okay.
Give me your address, please.
Ronald Scott, 548 Argyle Avenue. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. From what I've heard this evening, I was a little dismayed as to how this meeting has gone. I see no problems in letting our residents speak their piece. As afforded under the Bill of Rights, we have that right to speak. Now, we also even have a timer for us, so I can understand, so we can know just how long we have. But I see no problem with us letting the residents speak. And if after we're finished speaking, you can rebut or you can choose not to rebut. You have that right. You can remain silent and move on. But it's not. You should be allowed to finish our speech. Now, if I feel that's an infringement of our rights as American citizens, and if there's going to be an infringement on our right to speak, then I don't see the point in standing up when we do the Pledge of Allegiance, because that's just wrong. I don't agree with it, and it's wrong. I think we can. I just don't agree. I'm sorry. We can do better. I mean, all I hear from the people in this town is frustration. And that's what you would hear. If things are resolved, if things were better, there's frustration. You wouldn't hear this frustration, and we have smoother meetings. So I think as residents and council people, we should all just get together and try to do things a little bit better, so we can have smoother meetings. Because I can agree. I've had people listen to our meetings, and something just does not sound right. We can do better. Orange has potential. We can definitely do better. But this infringement of our freedom of speech will not fly. And I'm not the only one I'm not the only one that thinks that in this city. So that's really all I have to say. We can do better, and I wish us well, and I hope we can. Thank you.
Mr. Scott, you made a key statement that I'm going to repeat: smoother meetings. That is our goal. And in relation to smoother meetings, we agree everyone should allow to speak, but no one has the right to be disrespectful, to yell and scream, because this is a business meeting. We are conducting the business of the city. As long as you're being respectful and respecting all of us have rights, not only you, all of us. And I will continue to repeat the Pledge of Allegiance, because I think that's what we grew up and we live by. And
I absolutely
understand. I'm speaking now.
I'm sorry.
Speaking now. And it is our right to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Your opinion is your opinion, and we respect your opinion. But also, you have a right to respect our concerns and opinion. Everybody has freedom of speech and rights. But if you read the law, the 14th Amendment, why don't you read it? It tells you what you can do and what you cannot do. And some things is not appropriate for a council meeting. And that's all. We have not been disrespectful. My council members have not been disrespectful. All I'm saying is you made a key point: smoother meetings and get into the business of the city. Because not only you live here, we all live here. I live here. Been here since 1973. And we're trying to make this a better town for everybody. But we have to learn as a community, we have to learn to work together and be respectful of one another.
I absolutely
and
understand
you have a right
that, but
to
what
your
you're
opinion,
hearing...
I have a right to mine. We can agree to disagree. But I'm just saying, you made a key point. Smoother meetings is what we're striving for. Thank you very much.
Okay, I absolutely understand that, but what you're hearing is the frustration of the city.
We're moving on to Mr. Palumbo. Please mute Mr. Scott. Ms. Palumbo?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Rachel Palumbo, 351 Alden Street. 563 Argyle Avenue. Quick question, I guess, if you will, with regards to parking. I was just thinking about it. I know there's been a lot of discussions about parking permits, things like that. Obviously, there's parking issues. I know a lot of streets, I know specifically on Argyle Avenue, but I know there are a lot of other streets too. You can park on one side of the street for certain days. You can park on the other side of the street the other couple days, and everybody just kind of moves their cars from one side of the street to the other. I don't know, maybe if somebody can answer, is there a reason why we kind of divide? I mean, is it street cleaning or something? Is there a reason why we can't park cars on both sides of the street consistently? I've never seen street cleaning. I'm just assuming maybe that's why, but I don't know if somebody can answer maybe why we split them, like the way you can park, and if
I don't know if it would help, but if people could park on both sides of the streets at any day, I mean, it might help create more spaces. So
besides like one specific thing for. And Ms. Belinda, I think that's what we're working on there. We're just looking at the streets in which we can do that on, that's having critical problems, so that they can't park on both sides. And I know Director Mays is working on the time limits, but like you say, 9 to 12, you can't park here or on one side. And I think we're reducing those time restrictions so that people can't park on both sides at an earlier time once the sweeper goes through during the day.
yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I know in Argyle it's like 3 days that you can't park on one side. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it can be maybe looked. I mean, I appreciate you looking into it. Maybe there's a way to open up more time to people park.
I recommend can you look at
Ms. Palumbo, can you tell me between what streets you're talking about? Or between what streets? I know you are on Argyle, but between what?
Between Valley and Scotland.
So the whole, okay.
I mean, that whole
Okay.
Argyle street is like that.
The only thing you can park on both sides is Sunday.
Yeah, it's only one. I think it's one day that you can park on both sides. I think it's Sundays. You can park on both sides of the street simultaneously. Otherwise, you're either on one side for a couple days and then it switches to the other. With regards to that, my next question, I think it's been brought up before. I know Voss is an issue on itself. Is there any update on looking into Voss? I know, I believe at least there was supposed to be like a survey done or something like that. I know there's a lot of traffic from that. It also kind of spills in over to Argyle, so they're kind of connected. I don't know. Is there any talk about maybe making that a one-way to try to help with traffic control?
Not to I haven't heard anything. I don't know if anybody else has, but to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything. Before you go, though, can you give me my number so I can follow up with you? Can you take my number, Ms. Palumbo?
Yes, one moment, Councilwoman. We
have his number.
You have it?
Okay. I think I do. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yes, Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
I did hear it suggested, but I don't know how far it went. But I know through petition is the best way because then the people that live over there, will help. But I did hear it, but it didn't go further than that. So I think we definitely can look into that. As far as it being
that's something that the residents would do. Like, do we have to organize that and put it together?
You know what? We can work with Public Works just to see. Sometimes they do an engineer study before that, just to make sure it's the best for that area. But the residents definitely have to sign a petition before it's complete.
Okay, sounds good. So is that something I can reach out to you? Like, can we work together to organize this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sonia, please move the agenda.
Is there a motion to close citizen comments?
Motion to close citizen comments, Ross.
Second, Coleman.
Motion to close citizen comments by Council Member Ross, second by Council Member Coley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Council comments.
We're going to start with Councilman Coley.
Thank you, Council President. I don't have a lot to say. I just sat here listening to a lot of residents. They sound a little frustrated about certain things. I think that we as a city need to do better communication. There has been some misinformation about a lot of things. And I think we need to get better at communicating better so people can have the correct information on things. Perception is everything. And one resident, I didn't get a name, made the statement about the ATVs. I also made that statement some time ago to our county prosecutor when he logged on to our meetings regarding the ATVs. And it's not much that local police can do. As a retired officer, the police get a lot of their marching orders as what they can and cannot do from the county prosecutor's office. And the county prosecutor came on to our meeting and pretty much said there's really nothing that police can do regarding these ATVs until some type of legislation is passed at the state level. Police is just, their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. And I too feel the frustration regarding these ATVs. And I'm leaving that right there. I lost my note. But anyway, that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
You finished?
Yes, that's all I have.
Councilwoman Hilbert? Councilwoman Hilbert?
I'm not seeing her on here.
I see her, but you're muted, Councilwoman.
Rachel?
Yeah, she's on. I can see her. Can you unmute her? Okay, Councilwoman Hilbert?
Council President, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but I can't see you.
I'm here. My camera is open. All right. So my name is Councilwoman Quantavia Hilbert from the West Ward. I reside at 368 Jackson Street, Orange, New Jersey. I'm a proud Orange resident, and I would like to start off by saying a few things. The library, a resident asked about the library. The library has its meeting the first Thursday of every month in person at 7 p.m. In regards to the quiet zones I mentioned earlier, it does not take 7 years to pass a piece of legislation for a quiet zone. So we as a community, we as administration, we need to really improve on how we respond to issues, especially when they're constantly brought up in these meetings. I would like to see collaborations and people actually collaborating to get things done and get results, but that's wishful thinking sometimes. I would also like to say it is wonderful to see more residents attending and speaking out at the meetings. This is why we do have a citizens comment section so that you can speak to whatever your heart desires. It is your right to discuss what you see happening in your city. It is your right to question how your city is being governed. You elect us, you pay for us to be here to represent you. So at no point in time should you be shut down or muted like myself. Even I'm a councilwoman, I am constantly muted. And I have always asked, when are we going back in person? And I truly believe that we're not going back in person because it is a tactic to control us from voicing our opinions freely. I believe it is extremely disheartening that we have city employees who are still intimidating the residents. We have people violating the rights of the residents. Mr. Martha should have been able to finish his statement, and he should have been given back his time. But I know that won't happen because Orange does not exercise fair and best practices. And if we did, the residents wouldn't be coming to complain constantly. And we wouldn't have people saying, oh, I never got a call back. And we wouldn't have people saying, oh, that's always been an issue. I've received complaints and concerns about that for years. When are we going to be accountable? When are we going to focus on improvement? When are we actually going to be able to hear and receive feedback and not get offended and not impose our biases on the community? We need to do better. And I seriously pray that a year from now, we are actually looking at a better administration that really knows how to work with the community, and we're actually executing and implementing plans that services the people. And it's by their choice. It is by their choice and their decisions that we are all here today. So seriously, I would love to see more residents get involved and continue to speak up. And I am here to listen. I can't speak for anyone else, but I am here as a council member. I will forever serve Orange, regardless of who thinks they could intimidate or harass anyone. That is not the type of leadership we deserve. We deserve better, and we deserve people who are going to speak up regardless. So at this time, I'm going to stay at my office at 170 Scotland Road. On Wednesdays, I have Wellness Wednesdays. I'm the only council person here with healthcare experience and background. I have a social worker here who helps everyone with their mental health and housing needs. I also used to be a behavioral specialist and work with children who were on the spectrum. So if you need resources, please feel free to reach out to me. You don't have to wait for the city to pass an ordinance or a resolution on a contract that was fed to them by another city council member. You can get resources as long as you ask, reach out anytime. My number is 862-520-7919. I'm here to serve, and I'm here to give you the information. And I thank you all for your time, and I hope I see you all at the next council meeting. Have a great night.
Councilman Montague.
Good evening, everyone. Councilman Montague. Definitely, I want to give everybody, because every ward has four council people. If you need to reach out to me, take my number 973-476-8384. I don't have a problem. Give me a call. It's my personal phone number. You can text me. I will reach back out to you like I do with all residents. Most of my questions were answered during council reports. So I'm going to defer to my council colleagues for more. Thank you.
Councilman Royce.
Thank you, Council President, and good evening, everyone. I am so discouraged from some of the comments I heard tonight. We all hear your comments, and we attempt to respond and answer all of your concerns and issues as soon as possible. We are all available, and we work hard 24/7 to move this city forward. Sometimes it's not an easy fix as you want it to be. We as council people also have to wait for answers from the administration and from the legal department before we can respond to you. So I just want to say that we all need to communicate better, work together, and be respectful of each other. Okay, and that's the only way it's gonna work. But what I also want to say is that last week, some council members and I attended a book signing event at the Orange Public Library. Natasha Alfred, an award-winning journalist, who was also a political analyst at CNN, a graduate of Harvard University, currently pursuing a master's degree from Princeton University, and a resident of Orange, New Jersey. The name of her book is American Negra. The book is about Natasha being the daughter of an African-American father and a Puerto Rican mother, and growing up between two worlds, and all of the struggles that she had to go through. The story she told, and it's all in the book, was eye-opening. Journalists, students from Orange High School had a chance to answer questions and obtain a signed book. Lessons learned that day was to follow your dreams, don't let anyone discourage you, and you can do anything you just put your mind to. I want to thank Louis Copeland from the Orange Public Library and attorney Dan Smith and his wife Francine, along with the library staff for putting this event together. It was a great event. And this book, American Negra, can be purchased from Barnes & Noble. And again, she is one of ours, an Orange resident. Thank you, Council President.
Councilwoman James Summers Johnson.
Thank you. I'm just going to start with the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, living one day at a time. One of the residents got on and said that Orange used to be a community of people working together. For the new residents that are on the meeting for the first time, I want to say that the past, 4 or 5 meetings, we have really been working together. Council members, we have been getting along. We have been agreeing to disagree and things like that. And it's like we get 2 steps ahead and not back 3 steps. A lot of your concerns, we understand your frustration. We understand that it's frustrating because you're yelling into a computer, and we definitely want you to be heard. I was cringing just because of the way things were being communicated. It can come off hostile on all parts. It's almost like sending someone a text message. It may not be received the same way. I really, in my heart, wish and hope and pray that we do have residents that want to work together, that want to see a better Orange. And partly, in reality, I know there are residents that pray, P-R-E-Y, on new residents. They're not just a sign for sale. They just bought the house and they're like vultures on them, spewing negative information, misinformation. And unless those residents actually look into what people are telling them, sometimes they believe it. You know, some of the stuff is true, some of the stuff is not. But I just like residents to understand that you don't have to wait until council meetings to talk to us. For me, my phone rings, I answer it. I try to get you in touch with whatever department can help you. For every resident that was on here that is frustrated, there might be 20 or 50 that are happy with the way things are going. So we have to work together. We don't want anyone on the call frustrated. We don't want any homeowner upset. Until everyone is on one accord, we're not going to be okay. So like I said, I sat here, I was kind of like cringing just because, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot. And some of it was genuine. Some of it, I know you were told to come on because it's an election, you know, and when there's an election, it brings out an ugly, ugly side. So as we get through this, let's, as you heard the person yelling all those derogatory things, you know, that is really the attitude of a lot of people. And he spoke his truth, you know, and that is, there's no place for that. As far as allowing residents to speak, I definitely want residents to speak. However, I'm not going against city attorneys. I'm not an attorney, and I do not want to jeopardize any open lawsuits or anything like that. So for me, that's the stance that I have on that. I know Mr. Livingston mentioned the basketball league. Yes, it was late starting, but it started May 16th. It will end on, March 16th. It will end on May 11th. Recreation has a table at every game on Saturdays so that parents can get more information. It's usually standing room only. I would like to thank Public Works. I was on Scotland getting my nails done because I do spend money in Orange. And I saw Public Works cleaning up around the Argyle Morris area in the rain, and I was excited to see that because we do want to keep Scotland Road as clean as possible. The resident came on and asked about the special needs equipment. I've been talking about this forever. I've talked about Wassessing Park in Bloomfield because it is a sensory park. It is a park made for children with special needs. And I agree, we definitely need to make sure we have that. And this is Autism Awareness Month, and I do get to work with autistic children every day, and they just think differently, but they are awesome. And again, I want residents to reach out. You don't have to wait for a council meeting. My telephone number is 1-862-272-1155. I actually used to have an answering service, but I stopped it, and now I answer it, and the phone barely rings. So I need you to make the phone ring. I need you to send emails at jsummers@orangenewjersey.gov. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wooten?
Council President. Good evening to everyone on the call. I want to say I hope that everyone had a great holiday and that everyone will have a great holiday for those of us who celebrate, the various holidays during the season. I'm kind of speechless right now in listening to the various residents over this meeting. I do want you to know that I take the First Amendment's rights important. I just want each and every one of us to know what our rights are, read what our rights are, always be educated and inform ourselves of things that we need to be informed of. So once again, each and every person in the city of Orange Township is important to me, as well as my council colleagues. Just a little sad about what happened during this night's meeting, and I just hope that we, as Mr. Scott said, have a smoother meeting going forward. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. I think I've spoken enough for tonight, and I just hope that we can all collaborate and work together. Because I said these meetings, we try to run them smoothly, and we try to show leadership and make sure that we're doing the right thing. And then all I ask is that we learn to respect each other, collaborate each other. As Councilwoman James Summers Johnson said, you don't have to wait till a council meeting to bring your concerns and issues. You can reach out to us anytime. And I'm just asking that our City Hall directors, business administrator, and anyone else who get these calls, that you do respond to the residents. Even if you don't have the answer, just call and let them know. Note that you have the request and let them know when you were getting back to them. That is called follow-up. I try to answer all my calls every day. And if I miss a day, I always apologize because maybe I didn't see the message and get a resolution for you. As you know, when I get people on the phone, I conference them all with the people that they need to talk to about whatever issue, and I don't just leave them hanging. But I'm very saddened that we as a city cannot come together because it's not everybody in the city. The community is working together because we are out there every day and we hear the good news and we hear the bad. But we also hear a lot of good news about how well the city is doing and how we're trying to upgrade and move Orange forward. And I'm just praying, as I said, at the beginning, I said I offer the moment of silence and prayer for the city that we can move the city forward, get rid of the negativity, because we're never going to move until we get rid of the negativity and continue to work together. And I'm just asking my colleagues and the community, don't just let one person talk about negative stuff. Say something positive, but continue to work on. Everybody has their own minds, their own thoughts. A lot of people have that come on here have a personal agenda, and I guess you can read that in the comments that's being said. It's not about the city, it's about their own personal agenda. And I just hope as we go through this election year that we can keep this out of the council meeting because it is not part of our council agenda. In the comments you will have, go to the person that you have that concern and speak to them about that, or to the city attorney's office. But we intend to run these meetings, as Mr. Scott said, smoothly. Get through the city's business, which we are here to do, and to hear your comments. And one other thing I want to note that Carewell Hospital, formerly East Orange General, I had an opportunity to tour that yesterday. And I'm just asking our residents that I know they have a bad reputation, which they are trying to. I said to them, they need to advertise their brand, upgrade the things that they can do for the community because the hospital is in our community. But if you don't use it, then they don't have the resources to keep it running. So they have a lot of things to offer. We're going to start to do some advertisement, and we're going to start to educate people what they're offering there. They're much smaller than St. Barnabas, but I never met nicer people and nicer employees. It has changed. Their attitudes has changed, and they're there to service the community. So if we can help them by encouraging people to use that facility so we do not lose it. With that saying, please move the agenda.
Ordinance on second reading, public hearing. 24-2021 ordinance to amend the city code of the city of Orange Township, chapter 4, entitled Administration of Government, article 2, entitled City Council, section 15, entitled City Clerk. It's been postponed since January 1st, 2021. The motion?
Motion to remain postponed.
Motion to remain postponed by Councilmember Ross. And second?
Montague, second.
Second by Councilmember Montague III on the motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten?
Yes.
And Council President Eason.
Yes.
This item will remain postponed. 2-2024, an ordinance to amend chapter 200-32 and chapter 200-38 of the city of Orange Township Code, Frankfort Street. This was tabled on March 5th, 2024, council meeting. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Motion to close citizen comments.
Motion to close citizen comments by Council President Eason. Second?
There's a hand up.
I'm sorry, I believe you guys had a joke.
Is okay. Sorry.
Oh, Mr. Livingston?
Yeah, I wanted to stop our, since this is the citizens comment section. I wanted to also say that you guys don't have the right to feel any type of way, even if you don't like it.
Mr.
If it's not nice. It's not
Mr.
the first ability. I mean, it's a comment point.
Comments should only be about Frankfort Street. Your comments, let's just follow the rules of the agenda. If this is legislation, your comments should only be about Frankfort Street. Motion to close citizen comment. Mr. Livingston, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done since you want to infringe on my right there. I'm done.
All right.
Motion to close citizen comments. Council. Another council person? Was somebody else speaking?
No.
Okay. Motion
I made the motion. You need a second.
Second.
Second. Councilmember Colby, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt on final?
Motion to remain tabled. We're doing a motion to remain tabled. Ms. Lanier.
A motion to remain tabled. Is there a motion to remain tabled? That's you, Council President?
Yes.
Second, Ross.
Motion to remain tabled by Councilmember Easton, second by Councilmember Ross on the motion.
I think we're waiting for some information for Director Mays. So at the next council meeting or prior to that, we should be getting an email as to what the outcome was of the concern on Frankfort Street. Because I think it was changing the direction and making sure we had the right direction. So at the next meeting, Mr. Mays, could you at least send us an email prior to the meeting, updating us on the status, please?
On the motion, Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes. First and foremost, whoever is controlling the mute button, please stop. Because I cannot unmute myself in order to say on the motion or whatever I'm trying to say.
Miss Hilbert, just so if you weren't here in the beginning.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Councilwoman Hilbert, if you weren't here in the beginning of the meeting, we are doing that tonight because we had some bombing, some very nasty comments. So we will continue to do that throughout the meeting until we resolve how the people are getting in, saying all the nasty things they're saying about the council.
So you're talking about the same thing that happened at the last council meeting?
Last meeting, we had the same thing tonight. That's why we're doing it. And we will continue to do it throughout this meeting.
All right, so I don't know how I'm going to say on the motion. I just try to raise the hand to get somebody's attention.
I said to her to unmute you, so we will continue to do that.
Okay. You can leave your mic unmuted. All of the council people can leave their mics unmuted during this time.
during this time.
As long as they don't have any background noise, Miss Trish. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So to get to the Frankfort, please just repeat that, Director Mays. We're waiting for information because I did email you just to clarify that we were ready for tonight. So what is that going to look like? What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I'll have the report for the next meeting. I'm sorry, I must have missed the email. I didn't see it. But it's all been changed. I will run it by you, and then I'll send out the email as requested.
Right, send each council member a copy of whatever your findings before the next meeting, so we can move it forward.
Yes.
Up and vote it down, okay?
Yeah, please include the clerk too, so that everyone has everything and all the documentation that can be printed out.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Continue.
Anyone else on the motion? Seeing none. Roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes, to remain.
The motion is
Remain
table. Remain table.
Yes, to remain table.
Yes, it's to remain table. Councilmember Hilbert. Okay. You on mute.
Patience. Councilwoman Hilbert, you can unmute yourself. Trish, would you
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, we got you. We're looking for your vote.
Yes, to table it, yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten.
Yes.
And Council President Eason.
Yes.
Okay, so this item will remain tabled. Ordinance on introduction and first reading, 14-2024, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-45 dot 14 for the calendar year 2024 budget. Is there a motion to adopt on first?
Motion to adopt.
Second, Coley.
Motion by Councilmember Montague III, second by Councilmember Coley on that motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Eason.
Yes.
Okay, this item passed on introduction. 15-2024, refunding bond ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed 8,000 or 8,100,000 aggravated principal amount of water, sewer, utility funds, bond series 2424 by the city of Orange Township in the county of Essex, state of New Jersey, for the purpose of restructuring the outstanding 2014 refunding bonds previously issued by the city and appropriating the proceeds of such refunding bonds to such purpose and authorizing the issuance of such refunding bonds pursuant to provision of the Municipal Qualified Bond Act. The motion to adopt on first.
Motion to adopt on first. Ross.
Second,
Second. Motion by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Coley on the motion.
Council President,
Is Councilman Montague?
just for the purposes of transparency. Now, could you go over that just a little bit for the public? Just a little.
Sure. This ordinance is in connection with Resolution 198/2024. It's a local finance board application. We're looking to refinance some bonds that we've had on the books for over 20 years now. So they were funding bonds in 2014. They were originally issued in 2003. So we're looking to extend the life of these bonds from 3 years to 6 years. In the application, we have a $975,000 payment that's due on June 1st. So our application will be submitted tomorrow once the resolution passes. And this is on first reading. So on second reading, if this passes, like I said, we'll be looking to extend the life of these bonds and refinance essentially these bonds to extend the length. Any other questions, Councilman Monty?
No, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Niall, the extent of the extension, how long is it extended for? Just out of curiosity.
From 3 to 6 years?
3 to 6 years, okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else on the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Councilwoman Hilbert is trying to say, yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, don't mute
Councilmember Coley, take back your vote. Councilmember, she muted. That's what it is.
Hello?
Don't mute yourself.
She's not muting herself. Trish, unmute the council people.
She did already. Unmuted.
She did. She did.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Councilmember Coley, just take back your vote so Councilmember can talk on the motion. Can you rescind your vote?
You had a question on that?
I did have a question on the refunding of the bonds. CFO? Is he still there? I can't see everybody. Okay.
Yeah, he's still there.
CFO Clements, so when we're going back to refinance these, will we be taking out any additional monies?
No.
Okay, and what is the current interest rate on those bonds, do you know?
Yes, 4%.
4%? Okay, and if you refinance, can you give us like an estimate of what you think the percentage would be?
I don't know. We won't know until we go to the market.
Okay. All right, and you said it was going to be extended from 3 years to what?
6 years?
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Coley, can you take back your vote so I can start over? Because I don't want nothing to go wrong.
Okay, I guess I will rescind my vote. Is that
you? Okay. Law Department, you on here? Law Department.
Yep.
Is that the proper procedure?
Yeah, so you rescind the
his
vote.
initial vote?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Councilmember Coley rescinded his vote. So again, the motion to adopt on first reading was by Councilmember Ross. It was seconded by Councilmember Coley. On the motion, Councilmember Hilbert made statements. Anyone else have statements?
Just do the roll call.
Thank you. Councilmember Coley.
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Abstain.
Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Eason.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain. The motion passed. (16-2024) Capital Ordinance amending Capital Ordinance number 58-2023, final adopted by the City Council of the City of Orange Township in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey on October 3rd, 2023, to amend the title of Capital Ordinance in Section 1 and 3 therein. Motion to adopt on first.
Motion to adopt on first, Ross.
Second, Coley.
Motion by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Coley. On that motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Eason.
Yes.
Motion passed. Final reading will be May 7th, 2024. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Council members, are there any items you want to be removed? They're all, so.
Council members, are there any items you want to remove for a separate vote?
Yes, Council President.
Yes, Councilwoman Hilbert.
I would like to remove 219-2024.
Okay.
Any others, council members?
Okay, Ms. Lydia, consent agenda.
Okay. So the consent agenda consists of 190, 191, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, 199, 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 212, 213, 214, 215, 216, 217, 218, 220. And I believe that's it. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion to adopt Coley.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda by Councilmember Coley. Second.
Montague, second.
Second by Councilmember Montague the third on the motion. Seeing on roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilmember Montague the third.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Eason.
Yes.
So that's a yes. And the motion passed. So 219-2024, resolution authorizing award of a non-fair and non-open professional service contract to Greater Essex Counseling Service to provide mental and social services to the city of Orange Township from April 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024, an amount not to exceed $50,000. Give me a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt, Ross.
Second.
Second.
Second, Council President Eason. On that motion?
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes, on the motion. How many other service providers applied for this?
Business Administrator Hardwick?
It's a non-fair and open contract that came out of the health department. There were no other service providers solicited.
You said there were none other health providers solicited? So
Correct.
You mean that this Greater Essex Counseling Services was reached out to directly?
Yes.
And who were they referred by?
The health department.
The health department. So in no way, shape, or form is it related to one of the council members who works with them?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, and so maybe with the legal department, can anyone say if that's a conflict of interest and if the council members should vote on that tonight?
Councilwoman Hilbert, you make a lot of issue. I don't understand what you're getting at. So, as far as he said, they came from the health department. I don't think a council member. So are you insinuating that a council member is the person that's we're giving this contract to?
Yes, there is a council member who works with this services.
Well, Essex, we don't know that, so I don't know what what you're trying to insinuate.
Well, I feel like it should be investigated before we vote on it. And then we would be held liable for not looking into it. Just to be clear, just investigate, just to make sure that
taxpayers' dollars.
Say it one more time.
It's not taxpayers' dollars. It's a grant.
No, the grant is taxpayers' dollars. If it was awarded to the city, then we have to make sure we're spending it to benefit the people of the community. Once it comes into the city of Orange, that's taxpayers' dollars. We're supposed to spend it responsibly. And make sure that we're giving a fair, open process to a bidding process.
Kennedy Filippo, the health officer.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is an opioid money that was received that we requested, and there's a certain time limit on that. And then also this, as Greater Essex, is also doing about 4 other communities that I'm aware of, besides Nutley and a couple other ones, Montclair, and a couple other communities doing. So we were fortunate enough that this provides primary care, also some dental care, doing some study for outreach for homeless. We got somebody that actually is familiar with the state is looking for. So it was really benefited us, really. That's what this is for. And we would provide actual transportation for that.
Vinny, do you know of any council member that's involved with this?
Not that I'm aware of. A matter of fact, the guy that actually runs it lives in Morris County.
Okay.
So I just want to again reiterate that I myself, I work in this field. I'm very familiar what they offer. They offer great services, and I do know who works there and who runs the facility. And we need this. This is exactly one of the reasons why I had proposed an ordinance to create an Office of Homelessness Prevention and Social Services, which got shot down by the council and the administration. So again, with that being said, I think we need to go back and investigate to make sure that there is no truth to what I'm speaking to. I'm not here to excuse, I'm just here to say that I do believe that there might be a conflict of interest. And I believe that we should investigate before we move forward.
Council President, point of order.
Yes.
Through you to all council members, is any council member conflicted out of this? We can settle it right here and right now.
No, maybe the only one that has the background of this might be the person. I don't know.
Who was that?
Maybe the council member that has the background in this service might be the person. I don't know.
If any council member has a conflict, they would abstain or recuse themselves for the vote, and then it could move forward. I'm not really sure.
Well,
what the issue is.
Yeah. I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I don't have no vote in any of this, but I sit on the mental health board. So am I in conflict in any way here?
No, you would not.
Council person.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure.
But since our health officer, there is a time limitation restriction, I'm going to suggest we move it forward, and then Councilmember Hilbert, would you note your conflict of interest with the city attorney's office? And if we need to revisit it, we will.
Note the conflict of interest. What are you saying?
With the city attorney's office tomorrow. So
what do you mean? What am I noting exactly? I don't have a conflict of interest.
What I'm saying, so you can be fair and honest and talk to them candidly about what your concerns are.
Oh, about what my concerns are. Okay, I just wanted to be noted on record.
And once you meet with them, if there is a conflict, then we will revisit it. Is that okay? Is that okay, Attorney Ms. Rahi?
Well, so far we've asked all the council members whether they have a conflict. They have an obligation to disclose whether they have a conflict and to abstain if they do. Obviously, no council members come forward when I ask to say that they have a conflict. When the vote goes forward, if the council member chooses to not publicly state that they have a conflict and chooses to abstain instead, that's another option. But I see no reason based on what the right now it's just an accusation that's being made without any further information. So I'm not sure what we're trying to do.
Attorney Mizrahi,
Yes.
it is a statement because I've seen and I know and I spoke to certain people. So it wouldn't really hurt us if we were to investigate. You being our legal voice at this point in time should want to look into that to make sure that this entire council and governed body is protected. And I hold on one second, and I just want to go back to Councilman Coley. That was a low shot. That was disgraceful what you just did to try to say that the person with the background might have the conflict, because I would have spoken to that a long time ago. So you're intelligent for doing that. Nice job. So again, it is not I, but I do believe that there's another council person who has worked with this provider.
All right, and Councilwoman Hilbert, you can freely tell us who that person. If you want to make the allegation, just make it open and transparent in the public, and let us know who you believe has the conflict.
No,
and
sir, that's your job. That's your job to investigate.
But ma'am, you're making the allegation. It's not my job to investigate and determine whether there's a conflict in every single ordinance.
Council President,
I'm sorry.
Council President,
Now it's my turn to speak.
Council President,
It's my turn to speak now.
Council
I'm speaking
President,
now, and you're speaking
Council
over me.
President,
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you exactly.
Council President, Council President.
You allege I
Council
investigate. That's the way it
President.
works. Okay, you make
Council
the allegation,
President.
then it's my job to investigate. You can't just make a blanket allegation and then hold up
Council
legislation.
President.
Okay,
Can you get your
that's
law
not the way
department
this
in order, Council President?
Yeah.
Council
You're
President.
interrupting me.
When we're gonna mute his mic? You mute the council members.
Let me just say, we
harassment at its finest.
We are going to.
You are out of
Council
order.
President. No, you're out of order. And I did not forget that you called me stupid in front of public last week.
Council
President.
Mute the mic.
Council President.
I just want to mute everybody's mic. Mute
It has
everybody.
nothing to do with anything. This is an election. This is embarrassing. This is ridiculous.
I agree.
Here's what we're going to move forward with.
Mute.
It has nothing to do with election. I said what I said, and I asked for it to be investigated.
Mute everybody.
If you guys want to ignore what I'm ignore what I'm saying, then it's on you.
All right. Here's how we're going to.
Council President, if I may, this is Alvin White.
Yes, Alvin.
If there's a conflict that Councilwoman Hilbert is aware of, I believe it's her duty to make everyone aware of this information. To say investigate, and you seem to have the requisite information, you should disclose it now and let the council move from there. Right now, there's been a question on the floor. Does anyone have a conflict? No one came forward. You're the only one with additional information. And if you don't want action taken, you should be responsible and disclose that additional information.
Are you done muting my mic here, Trish?
No, we hear you.
Are you done? No, because it was just muted.
Council President, the agenda, please.
Hold it.
Let me finish my statement. Shut it down. You guys are embarrassing. Control yourselves.
You are embarrassing all of us. Mute the mics, please.
Council President, I'm trying to ask you a question. You asked me to follow up with, and I'm asking you, can I follow up with I can't hear you, Council President. Can I follow up with Attorney Montelis?
Oh, that's right. I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yes, you can. Tomorrow.
That is it. That is what I was trying to ask before we had to keep going through all of this. Stop muting me. Stop it.
Okay. So she's going to follow up, after Attorney White. She's going to follow up with you tomorrow.
That's absolutely fine.
All right. We're going to move forward with the legislation. If tomorrow when she comes to your office or she calls and you guys realize there is a conflict, we will revisit it. Okay?
We will report back to the entire council
And
once we
will
get the
revisit it.
information
We have to.
that
She doesn't want to read the building tonight, so we're going to move forward. Because
understood.
there's any innuendos and we need to move forward. So
Understood.
please do the roll call. Please do the roll call. I'm just going to caution any member of the council, if you figure you have a conflict with this, just abstain and we'll move on.
So the motion was made
Put
by.
all hands down, please.
I keep putting them down and they keep putting them up, ma'am.
All right, go ahead. Go with the purpose, Lanier.
Okay, the motion was moved by Councilmember Ross and second by Councilmember Easton. On that motion, we just had that roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Yes, I'm tired of the misinformation in text.
Thank you. Councilmember Hilbert.
Yes, and your education is missing.
Councilmember Montague the third.
He started it. Misinformation, sir.
We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this.
Go ahead.
Councilmember Montague the third. Councilmember Montague the third. You there?
Montague.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
I have no conflict. Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
No conflict. Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Wooten.
I don't have a conflict as well. Yes.
And Council President Easton.
I have no conflict. Yes.
So that's the motion passed. Council members, Jesus, is there any new business? Any pending business? Anything else y'all want to talk about? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
Wrap this up.
Okay, motion by Summers Johnson. I heard that first. And I heard wrap it up, but I heard Wooten say second.
Second, Wooten.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nobody opposed? Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 10:10 p.m.